What's up, gamers? Thanks for all the cheese. How's it going? Yeah, welcome in, Nick. How's it going? Glenn. Low cheese, bros. Yeah. We are Cheese Nation. Anyways. So yeah, we're gonna work on Lured In today. Because we didn't really do that last stream, so I figured, well, maybe we will do that today. So. I would like to work on new cool features. We've been doing a lot of like little miscellaneous quality of life stuff, which is good. It's important. But today I'd like to either dive into... Can't hear. I see my mic going. But you're just saying just you can't hear right now? Let me go make sure my audio is okay. Yeah, everything seems fine. Okay. Well, that's all good. Spider-Man fan, do I like people? Yeah, I generally like people, yeah. I would say so. But yeah, Lured In. So, what we did last time, we worked a lot on the keyboard. Let's go, cheese time. Here, so guys. Now you can see we've got the little search box and stuff. So that's working. I think the new inventory things are looking pretty good. So we're probably good to continue on. Yeah. Keyboard, you say? Yeah, only cheese. Well, the keyboard only activates when you're on controllers, so... One thing I've been meaning to do is fix the tab container theming. I think I was talking about that last stream. So maybe let's do that really quick, because it's been unfinished forever. So... Let's just go into tab container stuff. So there's all of these tab disabled, tab focus, tab hovered, tab selected, tab unselected. So hovered is no different right now, but it would be cool if we could make it look different. Yo, Abra, thank you so much for the resub. Let's go. Let's go get your petty. 32 months. That's crazy. It's over 2 years. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Very awesome. Cracked tile. Need to work on this a little bit. That's not for this game. Okay, so we're gonna go grab... what do we need here? It's gonna be in Lured In. And I'm just gonna kind of make a modified variant of the button. Yo, cheese time, more cheese, let's go. So we've got all of our button themes in here somewhere. Right here. Button, normal, hover, and pressed. And I think we can kind of use all those, just modify them a little bit.
You thought it was over.
It's never over when it comes to the cheese, guys. It's eternal. Unfortunately. Yeah. So I think what we'll do for this is just kind of cut it off, right? I think that's going to be the play. So we'll just kind of cut it at the bottom here, I think. Right? So we'll just crop it. And just boom. And that's going to be our tab. So we'll call this a tab normal. I'll just duplicate all the things to all of them. What's up, Oscar? How's it going? We're going to be working on Lured In today. And I want to focus on like actually adding in new stuff because we haven't. So this is tab hover. And then button press is also the same one that we use for button disabled, which, okay, I see. We'll Crop it to that. Get rid of those. Ugh. Tab pressed. I think that's all we need, but we'll see. So now we can settle those up. Oh, tab hovered is like, I see. We'll probably need to make some new variations here then. So, because I would like it to be like the one that's actively selected has the, yeah. Let's go get these loaded in though. Oh, I have to make a new one. This is style box texture. And this is tab selected. Okay. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Unless I did the wrong tab. I'm pretty sure those are the ones though. Tab focus we won't mess with. Well, we'll see. So for this texture margins, we want to set, it's like 4 or something, I think. A little more than 4. 6. More than that. And that should be set to stretch, I believe. I guess it's 8. God, not 68. Yeah, that looks to be about right. Now, I don't know why it doesn't seem to be updating in here, though. Is that a door or button? Yeah, this is it's like these tab buttons here. At least that's what it should be doing, but it doesn't seem to actually be doing anything. So I don't know if there's another kind of node in here. Tab. That's the only one I can see, so yeah, I really don't know why it's not updating. I am in the theme, right? Yeah. Do I have to hit save first or something? Yeah, I don't know. It's being really odd. Can also do tab hovered and tab disabled. See, because I'm doing just flat boxes, but it's not doing anything. Let's go look at an actual tab container, like inside of the inventory, see if it's updating in there. Nope, it is not updating. So why not? It's a little odd. Well, that stuff. See, I feel like there's actually another node in here, right? That's not a tab bar. It's like some form of button, right? Flat menu button. You know, like, what is this actual node type? Because clearly setting these is not doing anything for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to look this up. How do we change the theme of the tab? How do you equip the fishing pole upgrades on your fishing pole in Starground? They're just automatically equipped, so you don't have to like manually equip them or anything. The second you buy it, it's just active. Oh, you're talking about like like the reel and stuff. You just have it in your inventory. It's just like an artifact, so that's all you do. You use a tab container. See, I knew there's something going on here. There we go. Tab unselected, tab selected. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we want to do tab unselected. This would be a texture. There we go. It's updating now. So that's just going to be tab normal, kind of like this. We'll do our texture margin 666, or it was 8, I think. I feel like it's doing some weird filtering here, you know? I mean, I don't think the buttons do that. Actually, that might just be like, I think it'll be okay. I think it's just in this little preview it's doing it. Kernel, yeah, bait and stuff, yeah. We're gonna dive into that today, hopefully. I think it'd be cool. I don't know why the spacing there is weird. Oh, I set this to 7. Let's do 8. Okay, that should be correct. Then let's just do all of them. So we got tab selected, tab hovered. We don't do focus. We can do tab disabled. Got some of those. And tab bar background, which we won't be doing. So this one will be like, where is it? Tab rest will be the same as the disabled one. Set the texture margins. Yeah, there we go. We can actually see it in here now. And then the selected one will be probably a different texture, but it'll be kind of like the hover one. But I want to give it like a little extra height, probably. Oops, wrong thing. So we got that one, and then tab hovered, which is going to be this guy. Okay, so this is what we got now. It's coming along. And then when we hover over it, it highlights, and then when one's selected, I'd like it to kind of get taller, I think, is what we're going to do. And I also want to do a variant in here of a selected one, so it'll be kind of like the hover one, but we'll have sort of the top be white, I imagine. Let's go back to the lured-in palette. All right, so we'll do like, I have to think about how I want this. I might actually just expand this size a little bit up to 20 to add another pixel here and do sort of like this. All right, fill that in and then do like that in the corners. Maybe like that. We will see. Just kind of messing around right now. All right. Now we go get tab selected, boom. And that's the only thing, is it kind of shrinks the size down. Or that might be because I need to then increase this to 10 margin. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see what it looks like. And the only thing is it's pushing it down, so we need to set a margin on the top. Like at least 2. More than that, it looks like 4. The thing though is it's pushing the text down, which I don't really like. There is content margins. We will set some content margins here. Oh, that's like really small, I see. Let's do like 12. That's too much vertically. The content margins are a little weird. We're gonna have to figure that stuff out anyways. And I'm learning to know you could do margins like in a 9 rec node for other nodes. Yeah, there's a... Are you saying like with the style box? Yeah, you can do... It's very convenient being able to do the texture style boxes, because you can do buttons, you can do, you know, anything. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a good way to... I definitely recommend people make like a standard theme for their project, because it just helps keep all of your UI very consistent, right? And if anyone isn't doing that, they should do it. Where's the one that I edited? Okay, so it's 12.2, 12.2, 12.2. I don't know what I want the margins to be on those right now. We'll see. And panel. We don't mess with that one. See, it seems like the top margin is like stupid. So like for normal tab, right, unselected here, we can see it. It's like it needs way more top margin. At least 8. And then the bottom margin should be less. Maybe even do like 12? It's really weird. No, that's the wrong one. That makes sense. Also, hey, thank you so much for the raid. Next tab, D. How's it going? What's going on? Okay, so that should be less. So the one that's broken is this one, the unselected. No, the disabled one here. Yeah, how's it going? What were you up to today on your stream? Okay, so that's normal there. But it's still just a little too compact. I want it to be around the same size as the button, probably. So let's increase this, maybe go double there and bring that up to 4, like that. It's a little bit better. I don't know if this is gonna like mess up a lot of our UI. We'll have to see, but I don't know. Also, Fender, welcome in. Just got a small indie game with only 5 Steam reviews and felt like an FBI investigator finding such a good small indie game. Yeah. Has negative reviews, but I read them, they're all because of bugs. Ah, yeah. I like the Blatro style theme. With the game that you found, or something I've been doing? Let's see, we're usually doing web design with WordPress. Okay, neat, neat. I've always enjoyed doing web design stuff. It's pretty fun. I've done a lot of like, definitely not the modern way to do it, but using just raw CSS and HTML, I've had a good time with before. Yeah, very cool though. We're just working on my game today, Lured In. It's an incremental fishing game. We're just setting up this theming here, so it's looks better. But yeah, it's coming along. So we want selected to be, yeah, like slightly higher than the other ones. I feel like the bottom content margin is maybe too much. I don't know, it's hard to get it the exact same. Because we could do that, which I think is nice. I'd prefer if the text didn't move around a bunch. So I could do that, but then up the bottom content margin? Okay, so no, the content margin, if I change that, will change everything else. I can't really do that. So I guess we'll just leave it like that and just increase the top so it does that. Maybe less, though. Let's do like 4, yeah. And I think that's good. Technically, that is too much. I think 2 is theoretically the correct amount. Let's go ahead and save this, see what it looks like in game. What's the name of the game? Or yeah, it's Lured In. It's the one we're working on. The game I found, you were talking about themes earlier. The game I got is called Pagonomics. I can look it up. Pagonomics. Yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely got the Blatro vibe going on here. Yeah, they got the same background. Yeah, this looks cool. It kind of reminds me of, there's another game similar to this that was like Blatro, but like Peggle. I can't remember what it's called. I know there was like Ballionaire? I don't know what that is, if it's the same thing. I think it's kind of the same thing where you've got like, it's like the things. I mean, there's a bunch of different, like this is like, you know, they've got all these different games. Not really Blatro style, but you know. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, Plinko is the one I'm thinking of, yeah. Changed a lot from these pictures. Oh, okay, nice. That's cool. It's too bad it didn't seem to do very well, but that's how it goes. Yeah, looks like people have had plenty of issues, huh? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's always too bad. Bugs are scary. That's the that's the thing that's important about playtesting, right? Identify those bugs before people run into them, because that's bad if they do. So I think the difference between these tabs here is too minimal between the selected one and like the unselected. I feel like it needs to be darker. Maybe like lower the, I don't know, we'll have to figure that out. How does it look normal? It seems okay. I don't know how the sizes on these compare, you know, to what it was before. Also, I feel like now there's like a weird bar here. I don't think that was there before. Was that always there? Not that I'm aware of. That's a little weird. I mean, maybe. We'll go take a look at that. Strange. Let's go see. Yeah, I don't know. It hasn't happened to me at all. I just lost right after sending game too easy feedback to the Discord. Playing while watching now because I have 0.2 attention span. I totally feel it. Don't worry. I think what I'm going to do for this to make this better is we're going to do, for an unselected tab, let's go ahead and do this, right? And then when you hover over it, it becomes the normal button, right? Like that. And then when you have it selected, and then the disabled one is going to be like dark, like even darker than what we already have. So I think we'll do like this, just full black in there, and then we yeah, I guess do this. And this will be tab. I guess it is tab pressed or whatever. Let's give that a try. So then now on... Oh, well that replaced it. Hold on, because now we have a different... Ah, shoot. Hold on, let's undo this. Tab pressed, and then redo it. And this will be tab disabled. Let's give this a try, see what it looks like. Game feels like early access game, but I don't mind. Well, I mean, it just feels like when you play it, it's not, yeah, it's not like weird bad physics or GUI or anything. It just feels like early access. Yeah, well, that's fair. So then on disabled, now we set this one to tab disabled, the dark one. Yeah, I think this works well. So now like in our inventory, you can clearly see this one is like not pressable. And then in here, this is what the unselected tabs look like. You hover over them, it does that. And then the selected one's the brightest one. I just want it to be very clear what tab you're on. So I think that works better. I still don't know why there's like a weird little bar here. That might have honestly been there before. I just never really noticed it maybe. So let's go open up the game on Steam because it's not the newest update. And I just want to see if that was like that before, because it might have been. Yeah. Oh, you're playing Starground right now, Nick? That's epic. Okay, was it like that? It was. So that was always there. I'm just kind of crazy, I guess. I don't know. Now, how does the scale of this compare to the old one? Right? Let's open them both up and kind of compare side by side. I do think the new theming is better. Kind of matches the game more, but we'll see. But how long do you think you're going to be updating Lured In for? It's hard to say. I mean, the nice thing about Lured In is it's kind of like done. I mean, it's in 1.0, and so I can just leave whenever. It's not like I would get in trouble, you know? So it's hard to say. I think I'll definitely come back in the future, you know, and do some more content updates here and there, but we are sort of getting closer toward... I don't mean like wrapping things up as in I'm going to abandon the game forever, but just kind of like my plans for the game are complete, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll probably do 1.2 and then 1.3 at the least, and then I'm sure that I'll be coming back in the future to do more, you know. So, but yeah. Okay, so this is what it's looking like here. So we got the tabs, and then these are the old tabs over here. So I feel like these are much more readable as like a clickable element. The thing that I've never liked about these is that they're like, it's weird because nothing else in the game looks like these tabs here. But I like how these tabs are kind of in line with the button theming. And so like, it's obvious that it's like a button that you can click, right? Because I mean, that's really what a tab button is. It's a button. So I feel like that's probably better for the theming here. Yeah, I do wonder if there's ways that I could like separate out the tab bar up here. There probably is if I go into here, tab separation. Because I wonder if we want to add in some more tab separation. Because right now it's like basically 0, right? And changing that really does not seem to do anything. It might be H separation is the... That doesn't do anything either. Unless tab separation was doing something, I just wasn't looking. No. See, it's weird. It's like this node, I can't do anything to it. I guess it's inside of the tab container. I don't know why that node is even there if nothing gets edited. It's really strange. But yeah, we can like, probably don't want it to look like this. But maybe just adding a little more spacing in between these is nice. What do you guys think? Do you think the spacing is good or not? I don't know. I mean, obviously this is too much spacing, but... Prefer no spacing, okay. Yeah, because this is the default, it is 0. I feel like that's fine. I was just interested to see what it looks like. Okay. And the vertical height of these new tabs, I think, are just slightly taller. You can see, like, it's a very tiny difference between the two, so I'm not worried about, like, the UI being weird. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot with these. Yeah, it's one of those things in the game that I've always just noticed that, like, doesn't fit with the rest of the theming, and it's just been like, I gotta kind of fix those eventually. So... I'm gonna make a tweak to the selected variant. I think we need to make those bits darker. Let's see what that looks like. That's better, a little more rounded. Yeah, I'm happy with how that looks. It's pretty obvious which one is selected. Cool. And I like how the selected one gets a little bit taller than the others. I might even kind of do that more, where these two, the unselected ones, sort of shrink down. So let's try that. So unselected. I don't know if I can do negative texture margins. Oh, what am I doing there? Oh, that's texture margins. I need to do expand margins. Don't think I can. Okay. So that doesn't really work, but I can increase the height. I mean, I guess I could just say for the unselected one, can I decrease the... See, it's really weird when you decrease the top margin. It's like they always stay the same height. So it's like I can shift the text around inside of it, but it's always going to be the same size as all of the other nodes in this menu. You know what I mean? God, I'm changing the UI scale. So yeah, there's not really much I can do there with that then. Unless I wanted to keep the text too low. But then it's going to be weird because it's not going to like expand when these grow taller, so. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could just make it though where I just make all of them smaller, right? We could try this. So just change the top margin on all of these. Boom, and then disabled. Right? But obviously then it's way too low there, so I need to like see exactly what margin is correct here. I do think it is 8. Okay. That's for middle spacing. I could go to 6 and then 2 on the bottom, and that would keep it centered. It's gonna be a little weird, but I think it'll work. 6, 2. So that keeps them all just a tiny bit shorter, and then I think I can say on the selected one I can change its... No. I cannot do that. But I can do the expand margins, right? Like I could set the expand margin to like 8. And then set a larger bottom expand, but that's the issue, is it just moves all the other ones anyways. So it really doesn't work. Unless I do something weird like this. I don't know how I feel about that. Because now they're all taller than I want them to be. Unless what I do is I just set these to 0 pixels. Ignore that one for a minute. Alright, 0, 4. And then now the... Right, 0, 4, 0, 4, 0, 4. And then the selected one, I can decrease the margins here. Right, like that. So that's an option. If I wanted those ones to expand. It's a little janky, I have to do the setup though. Anyways, let's see. Also, yeah, just to expand on that more for how long I'm going to be updating it for. Yeah, I don't like necessarily see like a date when I'm like calling it forever, but definitely I think throughout the rest of the year, updates will slow down, but yeah. I imagine that's sort of where we're at. Let's check the Discord of the game. I got and either the people in there are just hating on the game, the developer is straight up lazy, or the publisher isn't paying him. Yeah. Hate getting a game, then realizing that the community or dev is this terrible. Yeah, that sucks. So, hey, Ryan, welcome in. How's it going? One thing with publishers is a lot of the times they don't do payouts unless you hit a certain income threshold. And that's usually like, you know, $1,000 or whatever. So it's hard to say. I don't know the revenue on this kind of game, but it is very cheap and only 5 reviews. So I imagine it's possible. It might just have not made enough to get past a revenue threshold, but it depends. It's published by Geraldton Drone Imaging. They don't have a publisher page. Yeah, I don't know. Just them, I guess. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay. And then now what we can do also is if that one's set to 2.4 for the content margins, I can go to the let's see. Go to the hovered one. And increase that to 2.6? No, that's got to stay at 4. Okay, I do that. I can increase the bottom content margin, but then increase the top expand margin by 2 pixels. Like that. So what that does is just when you hover over it, it kind of expands the size of the button a little bit. Which I think is nice. It just makes the bar feel more animated. Okay, so I think I'm understanding how the spacing stuff here works, right? So basically I've got to keep the expand margin double of whatever the bottom margin is. Or it's got to be the bottom margin plus 4, right? So that's kind of my limiting factor for the sizing and stuff in here. So that does make sense. I mean, I guess I could just set that to 0. And move the bottom down? Why is that shifting the entire UI? That's a little weird. Okay, so that one's only at 2 on the bottom, and then on hovered. I don't even really need to set that one on 4. I think I can just say 0 and then 2. That's if I wanted minimum size of the UI, I guess. Which I don't really. Let's keep those at least that big. I don't know, that's pretty small though. Like, that's better. Oh, but I gotta reverse it, so keep that there, and then the top. It's kind of confusing. Well, I think this works. What do you guys think? We are kind of getting down to brass tacks or whatever. The very minor details probably don't matter. I would like them to just be a little bit larger, just by default, you know, in terms of the content margins. But not too much more. Maybe just 2 more pixels tall, and then 2 on the bottom. And that would be it. Did they actually expand when I set that? They didn't move at all. There we go, now they moved. So basically I'd have it set to exactly what it was before. But then the problem is then that does actually push everything up. Only a tiny bit though. Actually, no, I don't even... It's a very small amount. I don't think it would break any UIs. Like, I don't see how it could. Okay, so if I have it set like that, and then when I hover over it, it just expands a little bit. Right? And then selected. One more thing that we can just try really quick too is whenever we have it selected, we could actually expand out the left and right. So it kind of like gets larger than the others. Kind of overlaps them like that. We can do the same thing on hover. So on tab hovered, do 2 like that. I don't know how we feel about that. Makes it look like how these buttons like expand in all directions, sort of. I don't know, I think that works. And those expand up. The only thing I'd probably do then is on selected, just lower the top slightly. Yeah, because it actually should be 6 pixels. There we go. Okay, I think this is at a pretty good spot now. Yeah. That expands. Cool. All right. Seems like almost the text might get like darker when I do. Like, what is a font selected color? It's not quite white. I think it's so bright, I do want to make it like pure white. Yeah, that's good. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I realized with all these animated buttons too, I don't actually change the brightness of the text inside of the buttons. Because the you know, hover stuff, I think. Actually, I don't know. Does it do the stuff? I guess it does. Never mind. Then when I press, it gets like darker. It gets brighter. It's a little odd. I think it might just be the contrast. Okay. I'm gonna stop worrying about it. I think we're good. Then let's just kind of go through some tabs and make sure they all look fine. Oh, one thing I do need to do, though, is set the other one back to be consistent. So let's go select the tab container. Because we've got unselected, so that's 8.4, 12.12. So we want to go to disabled and set that to 8.4, 12.12. All right. Now that should look normal in here. Cool. Alrighty. The only thing I wish they had is like tab selected hovered. So I could make it change if you hover over one that's selected already, but it's not a big deal really. It is fine. Not worried about it. Alright, I think there was another, yeah, we need to do the line edit container. This has been plain like this, which it just kind of looks weird and out of place with the rest of the UI theming everywhere, right? So I'm thinking that we fix that as well. Something we could also potentially do if we wanted, which I never messed with, but there is shadows, right? I'm pretty sure on these. No, there's not. Actually, that might only be a thing on a regular flat box. I don't think style box textures have shadows, so never mind. All right. But yeah, the line edit, kind of yucky, and we need to fix it because it's just gray. So it's only got a couple different styles in here. I didn't know read-only was a different style. But that's when editable is set to false, so that's like when it's in like this mode where it's not being actively set or edited. I think. When editable is set to false. I don't know, figure that out. So normal. Let's give this a new theme. And we could probably just make this sort of like a panel. I think we already have one that could work for this. So let's just do texture and go get our panel. We could do thin bright like this one. Oops, wrong one. Texture margins. Right, so this is one option, which is fine. There's also that same one, but darker. It's this one, panel 3. So that also works. I think this panel works. That's literally all we need to do in that one. That one's easy because there's no like weird hovering states like there is with the buttons, so I think we're fine. All right, let's go try this. Yeah, that's better. I just wanted to be in line with the theming we've got going on here. Then when you click on it, the focus thing shows up. which is fine. Grab. One thing also I want to make sure works with the search box is different languages, because that's something that we need to check. Because, like, let's do one I can actually type. Like French, right? So what happens if I search dolphin? See, it doesn't use the translated names as the search terms, which is kind of problematic. Also, I imagine... Okay, so it does do A to Z sorting with the translated names also. So I just need to change that really quick on the search filters, where I actually check the translated names versus the non-translated ones. So this line edit here. So we're not translating the text itself. I just need to compare against the translated fish names is what it is. So that's going to be inside of the item panel script. And in here... Actually, I think I do that in the inventory, don't I? Oh, I call panel update info, which does that in here. Okay, okay. Yeah, because I say visible is equal to show sort, which is name to lower contains. So we just need to translate the name first, like this, and then it should now use the correct thing. So if I search for... Yeah, there we go. So now it's showing... we can search for the names when they're translated, which I imagine is the way that this we want this to work. It's kind of confusing otherwise, right? So even though this guy's called tuna fish normally, if I search thon, then it shows up. So we're good. We're gaming. Cool. Now we got the new theme stuff here. That one definitely looks deactivated, which is good. Cool. Well, things are coming along. That's for sure. Cool. All right. We are going to actually work on cool epic stuff. I just wanted to test this out really quick. Make sure it all works. Then we can cycle between these. So we're going to add this key into the translation, search for a fish. There's still some weirdness with the controller keyboard that hasn't been fixed yet. I'm going to test just on my Xbox controller because it's a little easier to connect and stuff. I need to plug it in, I think, because my Bluetooth is broken for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so the thing that's a little broken right now in controller is for some reason, when I'm in this menu, the keyboard itself works really well. Right? I can do all this stuff. It's great. It's perfect. But, yeah, the only thing here is I can hit start and it closes the menu I was in, which, yeah, it's a little bit problematic. That's not good, right? Because now what happens? I can't, like, get in there to do it, so... yeah. It just kind of breaks everything. So we got to fix that. And see, I can't get out of the keyboard. And that's because it's not setting it as the active menu or whatever. But the problem is I'll have to figure this out. I might just kind of set up the UI manager to detect that stuff, because I think I'm already checking for the pop-up menu in here. Right, because I'm saying right here, if pop-up menu active, then turn that one off. And that's why it's happening. I just need to say if, like, keyboard menu, right? Then toggle that one off. And return. And that should fix it. So, So let's get var keyboard menu. It's going to be type of keyboard. I don't know why that has a little symbol there. Is keyboard already a class? But it doesn't give me the warning that it's overriding a pre-existing class. How did... Not Google Docs, what am I... Godot Docs. That's strange. It's not. All classes, right? Let's search for keyboard. Nothing. So it's not a class. We're fine. I don't know why it has the keyboard icon, but that's fine, I guess. Okay. Then UI manager dot keyboard menu itself. Okay, let's go give this a try. So now we're on controller, right? We're in here. We click on the thing. If we hit start. Ooh. I can't say toggle off because it's not technically a... No, it is a menu. Oh, I just had to restart the game. I'm just a little stupid. Thank you for the spin, Ryan. I appreciate it. Okay, let's try this again. This should work. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna freak out, guys. Alright, check it out. Inventory. Boom. Alright, we're in here doing stuff. Pressing buttons. We go up here to search. Then we hit start. Boom! It just closes the keyboard. Incredible. Now, I need to make sure that on toggle off, then the keyboard does all the stuff. Because I guess what I should actually call is dismiss instead of saying toggle off. Because it'll call toggle off. Let's make it force so it always happens. Yes, let's go back in here and then save that. I need to say dismiss instead. Just so there's no weird, like, signal connection issues. Oh, I am on the wrong game. This one is what I'm on. Alright. So now I hit start and the keyboard goes away and it'll submit whatever I had or dismiss it. So I hit start. It sends in the signal, so it shouldn't cause any issues as far as I know. Yeah. I'm so confused how signals emit from one node to the other. Thanks for the resources from the other day. Oh, yeah. I can show you how the signals work if you'd like me to. Signals are very, very useful, and I wish that I used them more when I first started out, because it's crazy how useful they can be, honestly. So the way to think about a signal is that you're just like linking two nodes together, right? So we can go ahead and draw out some stuff and explain what they're doing. So let's go open up a big image. Yeah, if anyone's not using signals, you should start. So let's say that we have a node over here. It's a node 2D, right? And inside of the code, you can define signals. A lot of these nodes have signals already in them. So for example, a button has a signal called pressed, and we can go look inside of that on a button, right? So here's a button. And this is what's important about reading documentation, because you can control click on button and go down to the signals section. And somewhere in here. Oh, it's we have to go to base button class, and then right here, pressed, right? This is one of the signals. You can also connect them over here. If you click on a button, it's in here. You just right click and say connect. So the way to think about this is it's like you create a function and it sits there and waits until that signal happens. So like we can create a function in a script, call this function funny, right? And we can have some code in there. And what a signal can do is basically tell the script, my signal just activated, go ahead and call your function funny, right? So you would click on this button, you go to the pressed signal, connect, and then you can go find that function in here that we just created, right? Called funny. I have to save the script first. Go to connect, pick, there's funny. So you click OK, connect, and now it's configured so if I press on this button, it'll run the function funny. So super useful for doing UI, right? Because a lot of the times you want to do things when you press on a button. So that's what signals are perfect for, because you go to the pressed signal over here and you connect to a function. So that's the main thing I usually use signals for, but you can make your own signals too, which is great. So for example, I can go up into here and make a signal. So I call this signal Timmy, right? And then whenever I want to, it's somewhere in my code, I can emit that signal. So let's say on ready, I can just say Timmy.emit. So it's doing the same thing that we were doing when you press the button. Now you're just deciding when this signal gets emitted. So, and the way I would describe this and visually, because I think that's always an easy way to learn things like this, right? So you have your block of code. You have your signals defined up here. And then you can say somewhere in your code, right? It tells this signal, go ahead and emit your signal. And then you can think of this as like broadcasting this radio wave to anything that's connected to it, right? Now you can also connect signals to each other in code. And the way that you do that is you reference your node. So you say, let's say sort button, I'm getting it here. I can say sort button dot pressed, which is the signal. That's what this little radar Wi-Fi symbol is. That means it's a signal. And then you call on that signal connect and put in your function. So we can call this function up here changed if we wanted to, right? So that's the way these work. Very convenient, and I use them all over the place. Everyone should use them more because they're just so good. First off, it's like really easy to control your code and keep things in order. Second, they're extremely performant because a lot of the times with this stuff, you have to constantly check for a condition. But with the signal, you don't have to check every frame. You only run this stuff when you absolutely have to. You don't have to like put it in the process event and say, if this thing happened, then go ahead and call my function. You don't have to do any of that. Because you can just say at the very beginning, creating a node, you get the signal, right? .connect to change. So I don't have to like run in my process event and check, did they press the button yet? It'll just automatically call that function as soon as it's been pressed. So yeah, signals are very cool. Use signals because they're epic. Anyways, hopefully that's a helpful little overview. They are a little weird to get used to at first, for sure, just because they're odd. You know, I think conceptually it's hard to wrap your head around what they're actually doing, but definitely worth it though. So something I'm noticing on this one specific node here for tab selected, there's more space in the bottom than there is the top. I'm not happy. So let's go fix that. So bottom, I'm just gonna set that to 0. And now we're good, I think. Yeah, I think that's what we want there. It does mean that it's... Oh, because, yeah, now that I'm expanding. It's hard to see these nodes. Appreciate it. I do understand it better now. Awesome. Great to hear. Yeah, if anyone's ever got questions about nodes and stuff like that, definitely let me know. So that goes there. Read the pixels. I think this needs to be set to 1 on the bottom, maybe. That doesn't make any sense. See, it's confusing how these work, right? So I can set that to 7. But it definitely looks better when that's at 0. Like the text is in the middle. Oh, I think what it is that the hovered one is actually the text is too high. It's so hard to see in there. Let's go look in game. It's going to be a little bit easier. I think it's going 1 pixel too high because the thing that's happening here is it so on selected, oops, on hovered I mean. So it's 4:4. Then the normal over here is 8:4. So that should be 4:6. Yeah, there we go. I think that's what I want. Here, let's expand the window so I can see it easier. Yeah, so it goes up 1 more pixel to be centered. So it's centered there, and since this button panel goes up 1 more pixel when you click on it, that should now be centered. Okay. Really hard to notice, but I think we're good now. Anyways, sorry about that. I just wanted to fix it really quick. Oh, we got ads going on. My apologies, gamers. Oh, thanks for the shout out, Nick. Saw it over there, Nick. Okay. All right. Those are just 2 things I wanted to do really quick, but now that the search box is working in other languages and on controller, I think that's everything done with that stuff. So it is finally time for the cool things that I want to do. Yeah. All right, so let's do this. What do we want to focus on right now? There's two big things I want to get implemented in here, which is a new room for breeding fish together. It would sort of just basically be a way to duplicate a fish. And then we would have, let's see. Bait is something I want to do for sure as well. Just because I think it'd be nice right here. Yes, when you don't have bait, it's just kind of random how it is now. But when you do have bait, it kind of filters it to specific fish that you can catch, right? Which is nice. This is also something that we could add in pretty easily as some kind of ascension or research or something. Being able to quick deposit your fish back into your inventory. And I think the way that would work is that you can just pay the fee in here. So like, let's go say that your keep net is full of fish, right? Normally it has a button down here that just says return. We could shift that over and put another button that says like quick, you know, I don't know what we would call that button. Basically just to send your fish back without actually leaving the zone. Right? So I'm thinking about that. Because it would be nice. I've noticed like something that's annoying is like you want to keep your fish, but then every time you got to click return, boom, and then pay the price again, right? So it's nice to have some way to just quickly return your fish back. So I'm thinking that could be some form of research, probably. So ads are over. Sorry about that. So how do we want to set that up? I do want to add in more research just because I feel like now there's a lot of ascensions in here, right? But research is a little more lacking at the moment now. And the bioengineering research helps, but even more would be a good idea, I think. Hey, thank you for the hydrate. Much appreciated. So, kind of looking at how these things are set up, we've got, this is sort of the equipment section over here, right? Because we've got equipment, obviously. I mean, the main time when you want to send things back staying in the same place is sort of end game when you're trying to just catch specific fish. So it probably makes more sense to keep it as a more expensive research, just because that's sort of the time when you would be getting it. So I could see throwing another branch in here of like, I mean, it kind of like goes alongside the Fishpedia stuff too, but these are more like information upgrades. This is like tank specific upgrades. These are the regions, you know. Then you've got like shop money upgrades, and this is all like you know, lures and equipment, that kind of thing. And pots. So I think a new branch that's like more fishing specific, like fishing quality of life instead of this stuff could work. I made the graphics myself. Yes, I have. I've done all of the sprites for this game. So a lot of the shaders, all this stuff. Yeah, it's been really fun. I've definitely learned a lot about making sprites, honestly, on this project. It's been a good chance to kind of try things out, you know, and one of the big things too I've been wanting to get better at is anti-aliasing, because I've just never really, before working on this game, I never really did very much of it, but it's been a really good time messing with it. I do like how it makes sprites look. It can work really well to soften things out a bit, so I think I'll probably keep doing that in the future. But yeah, it's been good. But yeah, one thing I want to test super quick. Let's go to the normal font, and then just want to make sure these tabs are fine, which they are, so we're good. Okay. What made you work in Godot? There's a lot of things. Before Godot, I was working with GameMaker and Unity. Those were like the two main engines that I've used before. I decided to leave GameMaker for Unity because I was tired of all the limitations with GameMaker. And then working on stuff in Unity, I never really enjoyed Unity, honestly. I felt like it was kind of too dense and confusing. And then also once Unity did their whole like, you know, runtime fee and that business, that it was sort of a wake-up call for me when I realized I don't want my entire career to be under the mercy of one company, because Unity could just decide to do something really bad and then I'm kind of screwed. And that's what got me started looking at like open source programs, and Godot is kind of on top in terms of open source game engines, I would say. So I tried it out, messed with it a little bit, made a little prototype game, and it was pretty fun. It felt like a really good middle ground between GameMaker and Unity, where Unity was like too much. It was too slow. It's a big engine, you know, and it was slowing me down. Whereas GameMaker, I felt the opposite, where it like just didn't have the features I needed and I was constantly fighting with the engine. But Godot has been like the perfect in between, where it's still very lightweight and fast and agile, but also it's got way more functionality than GameMaker ever had. So it's been a really good time using it so far. Yeah, I'm glad that I decided to try it out, because I think I'll probably keep using it in the future. I've never really run anything into Godot that I felt like I just can't do, which that happened all the time inside of a GameMaker. And it is so much faster developing in Godot compared to Unity for me. The engine opens up in seconds. Game launches in seconds. Everything is measured in just a couple seconds, which is great. Because GameMaker always was like that, where things loaded really fast, but Unity was not. Unity took 1 billion years to launch the game. Because what was so annoying is, like, I want to make a little tweak to something and see what happens here, but then I have to sit there and wait for it to open for like 30 seconds. It's like, this is ridiculous. So it's better to go for a bigger project and learn along the way, or to do smaller projects and focus on smaller things. I definitely think smaller projects are better, honestly, just kind of in every way. I think one of the big things about learning with making games is like the release process too. So like putting it up on Steam and doing your marketing and play testing, like those are all really valuable skills to learn. And so you get to that point a lot faster and easier with a smaller game. A lot of the times, if your first game is way too big, which I've definitely done, it just becomes too much to reasonably release the game and finish it, you know, as a first project. So definitely smaller is better. And I feel like you can really focus in and on ideas and concepts a lot easier. Like, the thing with big games is like it's just it's so much, especially if you're a single person developing the game. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's worth it. Smaller games are way better. And also for commercial launches, right? I think in the future I'm just going to be launching small games. And I don't mean small as in there's not much substance, or they're, you know, not fun or whatever, but I just mean small as in keeping like development time and stuff in scope, you know. I think like the limit sort of being around 6 months of development time is nice. It's just less risky that way. Heard in Godot you can't do bigger games. That's really not true at all. I don't know why people... I feel like that's something that's been like fabricated by people that just don't like Godot. And they're like, well, actually, you can't do big games in Godot, so you should definitely go use Unity or Unreal. That's just not true. There's plenty of massive, big, successful games in Godot, right? I mean, you can look at like something like Slay the Spire 2. One of the, like, an enormous Steam release. They've gotten a bunch of negative reviews. I don't remember. There was some stupid... There was like a patch or something that people complained about. But still, 200,000 reviews. That is pretty wild. And this is like it's got a lot of stuff in this game. This is not just some little, you know, play for an hour and be done with it. You can do basically anything in Godot. There's no limits. I think the only limit when it comes to any engine, honestly, is just your own creative and technical limitations. Like how skilled are you at making games? Because that's what really matters, right? You can make a big game in something like GameMaker or Godot or Unity or Unreal, and at the same time you can make a small game. It doesn't matter, it just depends. Obviously, big games are harder. I think some engines are catered for big games, like Unreal is sort of better for a larger project. I mean, at least that's like the audience that they target is big AAA companies. But you know, doesn't mean you can't do it in Godot. It might be harder, maybe. But here's another thing about engines too. The best engine is the one that you enjoy using the most. So I wouldn't worry about, I wouldn't apply these limitations in your head about engines, because a lot of the times it's just not true, unless it's a hyper-specific kind of engine. But Godot, Unity, and Unreal are all general-purpose engines and can basically do anything. So, not 3D, Godot does not have texture streaming. I mean, you can create your own texture streaming system. This is the thing, right? That people, you find some fact about an engine and then think it's the end of the world and now you can't do something. But you can just do it yourself. Like, you can just create some code to do texture streaming. Like, it's possible, you know? So, it's really just, you're the only, yourself is the only limitation when it comes to making games, I feel like. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it has texture arrays. Yeah, you can do a lot of fancy stuff. No, you would not have to rebuild the engine to do something like that. I mean, really all you would have to do is just load in a file and then just kind of stream bits back. I think there's a way to do that. They have functions to, I mean, you can just look at like the resource loader class. I mean, you probably have to set it up yourself, right? But you can load things with threads, which is an option. So you could start like loading a very small texture, and then as these threads load in the extra textures, then it starts replacing them with the higher resolution versions, which is basically what texture streaming is sort of doing. But yeah, I think there's a lot of options. It's not just this impossible thing to tackle. Yeah, taking advantage of threads is kind of important. No, you wouldn't have to rebuild the engine, I don't think. I mean, we can see, I bet there's like probably been already somebody that's done this before, right? Let's go take a look. There's definitely a lot of, I'm seeing a lot of like issues on GitHub for this, so they are open. So I wouldn't be surprised if they implement something like this into the base engine. And honestly, I don't know if you'd really need texture streaming unless you have insanely large worlds with insanely large textures. So I feel like this is probably a pretty specialty feature anyways, if we're being real. You can still make crazy big projects, big worlds without needing texture streaming, so. But. Yeah, keyboard. I mean, this is the thing, it automatically keeps the necessary textures in memory. You can just be careful with what you have loaded, because this is the whole thing with the resource loader. It wouldn't do it automatically for you, but you can just say, I think there's a way to unload a resource, right? If we look inside of here, because you can load something as cached. I guess all you would do is just delete the reference to it, and the garbage collector would probably just remove it from your VRAM. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it. But yeah, I don't think that's really a big concern. I mean, here's the thing too, is like, if you are making a game that's that enormous that texture streaming is your limitation, then you're probably a team of like 50 people. This is the thing. And if you are that many people, you should probably just go use Unreal anyways, because it's designed for large teams. So so Unis creates his own tools inside of Unity to make development easier. Yeah, you can do that inside of Godot too. You can export stuff as a plugin. And I don't know, actually, I've never made a plugin, so I don't know how that process is, but... And then you can add your own tools into the engine. Because here's one thing about Godot, is that the interface of Godot is made with Godot. Like this whole UI is using GD script, right, to display everything. So it's extremely easy for you to just use the engine to modify the engine, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I've seen a lot of people do crazy stuff. Some people have like, you know, a little built-in to-do list. There's like the funny ones for when you type, it shows all the effects on screen and the code editor and stuff. I feel like that would be really distracting, but yeah, there's so much that you could do. And they have a lot of things set up to do it properly. One thing to create a plugin, I know you use at tool at the top, and this makes it so your script runs inside of the editor. So you can make a script like this and then say at tool, and now it runs in the editor. So that's one thing that can definitely help. But yeah. Yeah, let's see. Big is relative to VRAM. If you're scaling, game gets updates over time, gets bigger organically, even after publishing it, can blow up VRAM. I mean, it would only do that if you're being really messy with the times that you load in your textures, right? Because like, you're not going to be rendering in your entire world all at the same time. Like, let's say that you're in a massive open world area like GTA 5 or something, you know, and there's this big, huge open world map. You're not going to have every single asset and texture loaded all at the same time, right? Because that would be a death sentence. So even if the world does get bigger, you're still only going to be loading in a small subsection of it, right? And this is the reason why we take advantage of LODs, both for, or MIP maps for textures and LODs for models, right? So that you're loading in, you're keeping a very small version of a texture in memory, so you're not destroying your VRAM instantly. So it's really just about the time that you put into optimization. You know, that's the most important thing. Because you can control when these things get loaded in. So like if you don't want a texture 1,000 miles in the distance you can't even see anyways, you just don't load it in. Don't have a reference to it anywhere. And then you can have some checks to see, kind of scan the area around the player, and once they enter into an area, then you go ahead and load your texture, you know, and set that as your mesh texture or whatever. I mean, that's the way that stuff like that should be done. I mean, texture streaming is definitely nice, but it's not like it's just, from what I can tell, I've never really done any texture streaming stuff, but it's just a way to optimize, like to automate the optimization of your game rather than having to manually decide what textures and stuff get loaded in. But yeah, I'm sure this is one thing that's nice about an open source engine also, is anyone can add stuff to it. And so if there is a big desire for people to have texture streaming, then odds are somebody's going to come along and add in texture streaming, right? And that's happened with so many things in Godot, which has been fantastic. So, yeah, it's been really good. That's the one thing also, another massive pro compared to Unity and GameMaker, is that these engines are Godot's constantly updating. Since I've been using it, it's already had like, it's been like 5 or 6 major updates in just like a year or two, which is insane. So I know they're going to move on to Godot 5 eventually, but there's kind of no reason to do that right now. Well, better global illumination. That's fair. I mean, definitely I would say the weaker part about Godot probably comes down to its 3D rendering. And that's, again, why I don't think there's a such thing as the best engine. Because if you're making a game, if you know that it's going to rely heavily on texture streaming and global illumination stuff, then you would want to opt for something that does that the best, like Unreal Engine, you know? So, yeah. It's just a matter of understanding what you need out of your own engine. Like for me, Godot is fantastic because I don't really care about doing any high-end graphics stuff. So I don't really need global illumination. And also I don't care about texture streaming because a lot of the textures I use are tiny anyways. So it doesn't really take up much space in VRAM. But yeah, it's not always going to be the same for everyone. A lot of people probably will be in a better spot with something like Unreal. Yeah, being open source helps a lot. I definitely think so. Open source is epic. And I really like how if, you know, if the Godot, what is their title? There's like a, you know, the Godot Foundation, that's what I'm trying to think of. If they decide to do something stupid to Godot, it's open source and it's MIT licensed, so you can just branch Godot, right? So you're never gonna like lose access to your program, which I always fear about private companies doing stuff like that. That's kind of scary. But anyways, I would love to donate to Godot someday, but it's expensive. Eventually, if I have money. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to answer that question back up there. Yeah, definitely, it can be very profitable. I think a big part of profitability is how frequently you release games, because a lot of the money that you get from a game launch is right at the beginning. And it still makes money in the background as passive income, but it's definitely nothing like the initial spike of sales. So I think if you focus on lots of small games and you make like tools to make the process easier for yourself and speed yourself up, I think it's definitely possible. And I think the thing that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to, like all of these super successful games I always see, most of the time, like AAA games look great, but a lot of the times these indie games that are doing very well are not like these, it doesn't, you know, they're very simple concepts. Like I look at something like Balatro and it's like, if I had the idea for this game, I could have probably easily created this game. I think that's something important to keep in mind, is like, you've got to spend a lot of time thinking about the way that you portray your game, the marketing side of it, you know. And marketing is more than just putting up a Reddit post on, you know, or an X post. It's about like the whole identity of your game. One thing that I decided to go with Lured In is really emphasize the player fantasy, like what you're doing in the game versus what the game is. And I think that's important. So I focus on like, you get to run your aquarium and catch fish and the things that the actual feeling of playing, I guess. So that's very important. And I feel like nobody ever spends enough time on stuff like that. Like obviously you need to make a good game, but a lot of it comes down to the way that it is portrayed. And I also have games I've done bad at that. Like, let's look at Starground, for example. One of the big problems with Starground is I feel like I never really had a good idea of what Starground really is in my head. I think a good rule of thumb is like, you should be able to describe your game in one sentence and everyone should instantly know what it is and what you do inside of it, right? So I can't really do that for Starground. And that's one of the reasons I think this game hasn't done as well as Lured In has, right? But yeah, it's hard. Game development is really hard, especially if it's solo game development, because you've got to do everything. But this is why small games are superior, because you can fail fast. If an idea doesn't work out, you know, you only put a couple months into it. It's not a massive waste of your time. But let's say you were working on a game for 4 years and it was a flop. That's 4 years that and if you focused on small games instead, you could have released, 8 games in that time. So yeah, small games are king. Also, you can use a specific version, which you can't in Unity and Unreal. You can't do that, really? I'm pretty sure that you can, I thought. Whenever I would do, like, used to use a lot of Unity and stuff for, like, game development classes in high school. It would always specify the version to use. I don't know, I have to check on that. Maybe they changed that since then. Yeah, marketing's so tough, in my opinion, yeah. And it definitely is. Funnily, I've spent probably like half of my development time on LearnIn just creating shorts. In all honesty. I don't really make very many now that the game's already out, but just that initial push of trying to build up wish lists, it's very heavy focus on the marketing side of things. So, yeah, it's hard. I mean, this is the thing to keep in mind as a solo dev, that it's very, very hard, and it takes lots of time, to be profitable. There are a lot of people that develop games, and it takes them a long time to make money. I'm talking like 5 years plus. I mean, that's basically the boat that I'm in. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like extremely profitable. It's not like I'm rich or anything. But to get to the point that I am now, I've been making games for 9 years. Ever since like 2017. I mean, of course, I sucked at making games back then. But yeah, it takes time. It's not easy to just dive into it and it's the most important skill, I think, with game development is just endurance. You have to just keep trying. Even if something doesn't work out the first time, you just make another game over and over and over until something works, right? That's the real skill that's hard to learn. So, yeah. Can I also make a tutorial on fishing game? Maybe. The thing with tutorials is it's very time consuming and they don't typically do very well on YouTube and stuff. So it's hard to say. And with fishing, it's like there's so many different kinds of fishing, which is something it's hard to kind of encapsulate the concept of fishing into one video. But we'll see. Starground's grounds for experience. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a big part of Stargrounds. Starground was really hard to make. It frickin' sucked, but also at the same time, I learned a lot because of how hard it was. So, yeah, it was definitely, a worthwhile experience. Because now, like, compared to this game, like, LearnIn was nothing. LearnIn was a breeze. So, it gives you a good, like, perspective on everything. Second X, yeah. Real. If you could, would you be a solo developer, work for a big corporation like Rockstar? I definitely enjoy solo development way more versus working in a big company, because the thing with solo development is my freedom. I can do whatever I want, which is really, really nice. I set my own times when I work. I mean, this is the thing. I don't really have like times that I block out. I'm like, I work here and then this is my break time. Because working that way for me, it's doesn't work very well. I kind of like just work on stuff when I feel like working on stuff, which tends to be almost all the time. But I work way better when I'm motivated to. So anyways, the thing with solo versus like big corporation is, if you work in a big game dev company, you're going to be doing one thing. You're going to be hyper specialized. And that to me is really boring. Because let's say I work at Rockstar, it's like I am the guy that programs cars or something, or I am the guy that does this. But with solo dev, I get to be the everything guy, which is way more fun because I can do the art and the sound and the programming and the marketing and everything. I mean, to be fair, it's a lot harder to do all of those things at the same time, but I just think it's a much more rich working environment. I mean, if you really enjoyed one very specific part about game development and were fine doing that forever, then that's great. You can go, be the player programmer and just do that for years. So, but to me, I can't take it. It's way too monotonous. I really like being able to do different things all the time, so. Now, if I was working at a big company like Rockstar, of course, I would have a much more stable income. That's one of the downsides of solo development. The biggest one is that your earnings are entirely up to you. So if, you get sick, or something happens, then you just don't make money. You don't get any benefits. There's no corporate sponsored healthcare plans and bonuses. There's none of that. And I don't get like a salary. It's not like I'm guaranteed every year to make $100,000. It wildly, changes throughout as time goes on. Like, this is the thing, like Lured In launches and I make $40,000 in 1 month, and then the rest of the year I make barely anything. So it's unstable. But, that's how it goes. I still, to me, the downsides of solo development are worth it for the upsides. But yeah. If I'm honest, I absolutely love the visual style of Starground. You're too critical. I think it's a beautiful game. I appreciate it. It's always hard to look at your own stuff and like appreciate it for what it is. Because the problem is like, you're always your own worst critic. I look at stuff like this and all I see is like the issues with it instead of the things that people actually like. So it's hard, but I do appreciate it. You need a way to reuse stuff you made in the past. Definitely. That is one thing that helps making games a much faster process, right? One thing that I did recently with Lured In is I made this whole like system for menus, and I'm reusing that in a new prototype game now, Tactic Toe, and it's working really well. It's kind of just drag and drop and everything works. So doing that as much as you can helps enormously, because now I've got this whole game done and like, I mean, it's not done obviously, but I've got like a working UI system and saving and loading and all done in like a week. So yeah, something I recommend to people at some point. It's hard to do this when you're starting out because odds are the things that you program will kind of suck. But as time goes on, making your own like drag and drop components to do things for you in a quick and easy way is a great idea. Tooling, as they call it. And also, you can do it better more than anyone else, so self-critical now to make sense. Yeah. It's tough. Shows for game? Yeah, we can take a gander here. Yeah, we just worked on setting up the themes on this, so this box is good now. Anyways, yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Lured In. You travel around to different places. You catch fish. I'm not going to wait for fish right now, but you bring fish back. You have them in your inventory. You put them into tanks. Those are big fish. Let's put this guy in. Boom. That's a saltwater tank. So now there's a fish in here. He sits in here, makes passive income. Customers walk in, and then you can spend your money on upgrades for your tanks and your equipment and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's just a little incremental game that we've been working on this year, but it's been really fun. You go over here now. I mean, you catch fish, yeah. That is the nice thing, though, about this is, like, I can just say, you catch fish, and everyone knows what I mean, you know? It's pretty nice. How do I do the audio? I just used all the built-in Godot audio nodes and stuff like that. We've got audio buses down here, so each, like, sound is assigned to one of these. Master, music, sound effects, and UI sounds, which is all, like, the clicks and stuff when you scroll through here and do things, right? Oh god, stop changing the UI scale. But yeah, nothing super crazy. I think I set the FPS limit weird, yeah. But we can go look inside of here to see all my audio player nodes. We've got like all of, where are they? I guess they're not really in here, but I use the, oh yeah, like notification. Oh, you mean like, yeah, the actual sounds themselves. Okay. We'll go over that stuff. Nice walk animation. Thank you. Yeah, the walk animation, actually, I don't animate. I animated the arms with code because they're actually two separate sprites. And the reason I do that is for this, when the player holds their fishing rod. So it's using like an inverse kinematic system, which I think works really well. So basically, I just tell the hand where to attach to, and then it just kind of works. And then, yeah, the legs I had to hand animate, which was really annoying, but it's fine. I think it looks all right. It's good enough. Player animations like this are kind of like my weak point, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't really like animating living creatures like this, like humanoids, but it's got to be done, so I had to do it. You do some Easter eggs for fishing males somehow, yeah. Fishing male. Oh, like like emails or whatever. Yeah, so the sounds themselves, a lot of the sounds I just recorded and then edited. I used kind of a combination of DaVinci and Audacity to edit the sounds. I've been kind of using Audacity more recently, trying to learn that tool more. But like a lot of these sounds, for example, if I... Actually, this little pop sound, I think I just recorded that with my mouth. A lot of these are just from my mouth. All the little clicks and stuff on the UI, I would just do like a little sound, where I would just go like, you know, and record it and then edit it down to just be a little click. So that's what that all is. And then for some of the more complicated sounds that are harder for me to replicate, I do grab those off of Freesound and edit them from there. So typically what I do for that is I just find like a sound that I can edit in here, or I get multiple sounds together and I stack them on top in Audacity and tweak the, you know, mess with EQs and pitches and all that kind of stuff and kind of mash them up into combination sounds. So like, for example, if we look at like the sound when you delete a decoration, like that sound right there is a combination of multiple sounds layered on top of each other. There's a couple different variations, but that's what I do for some of those more complicated sounds, right? And Grandpa, voice acted by yours truly. I can't remember if I found the money buy sound or if I made that myself. Actually, I think I did make that sound, I think. I think what I did is I literally took like a bunch of metal chunks in my hand and just kind of shook them around. Or I might have layered that on top of another sound. I don't know. That sound has been here for a while, so it's hard to remember. But yeah, just a lot of that kind of stuff. Some of these ambient sounds I just grab. I didn't really do a whole lot of editing on that. I could go outside and record the sound, but it's hard to when you're in like a neighborhood because there's dogs barking and cars, and it's hard to get like nice, clean recordings. But yeah, splashes. I didn't create those. I mean, it's hard to define like what is I created, because a lot of these, like I grab a sound, but I edit it so heavily, it's like a completely different sound. So do you classify that as a new sound? I don't know. But yeah, that's the way that I've done all this stuff though. And then also we've got music, which I did not make the music. My brother made all the music for the game. So, and this just plays on a loop while you're playing. I always have it muted because, you know, we have other music playing during the streams, but... Spock animation, he says he pulls grandpa violently. Scrap, yeah. Did you create the font for the text yourself? I actually did. If you go to itch, you can get the font. I put it up for anyone to use if they want to. I was trying a bunch of different fonts, and I was having a hard time finding one that was exactly what I needed, because the thing with LearnIn is that we have a million different languages. So I needed something that would work with lots of different symbols, Cyrillic and Greek and all that kind of stuff. And I just couldn't find one that would work. I needed a pixel art font like this, but I didn't want it to be... I wanted it to be kind of cartoony. Yeah, it's hard. But yeah, this is the one that I ended up messing with. And I use this program. It looks like a file link, but it's called Bits and Picas. And it's a nice little editor. You can see all the different symbols that I had to configure in here. It was a lot of work doing all of these different symbols. There's so many, you know, to have full support for all these languages. But it's worth it though. What's nice now is I just have this solid pixel art font that I can use in other projects. And I know that it has support for like every symbol, at least all of the Latin symbols. I don't have... The problem with doing like Chinese characters and stuff is that there's literally thousands and thousands of them, so that's kind of too much work. But at least for these kinds of symbols, for all the Latin ones, it was pretty good. I don't have like some of these in here, like these weird fancy icons and stuff, but yeah, no, I've got most of the important ones, so it's fine. You know, all the grammar stuff, all the accents. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Sure, I missed that in the credits, Yahak. Oh, thank you. Yeah. And it's just licensed under CC BY-SA 3. So you can use it for free. But yeah. Yeah, I've thought about replacing the font in Starground with this font, which I probably will do eventually, just because I think it's a lot more legible than the Starground one was. One thing I've never liked about the Starground font is the capital letters almost look like lowercase letters, so it's been confusing and hard to read those, but yeah. But anyways. Goodbye, crate. So, let's do our research that we've been talking about. Because I want to throw one in that makes it so you can quick deliver your fish back. And I have to think about what the icon and stuff for that would look like. I guess it would be some sort of truck. Makes the most sense. So we'll probably go and draw a truck. It'll be 32 by 32. Now, how to draw a truck. Always look up references, because it's kind of useful. I'm imagining some kind of little cargo truck, you know, or a van maybe. Like one of these tiny cargo trucks, not a semi-truck, but like a, you know, like this guy. I'll probably just draw this. So let's do that. So and we'll have some perspective stuff set up here. And this will just be flat. Sometimes what I do when it comes to like assets like this that are very perspective heavy, which this one is, because it's hard to fit like a whole big truck into a readable asset, I just kind of paste it in here and outline because it's kind of a lot easier. So we're just going to do that. And it saves a lot of time anyways, so then now let's do it. Sometimes I do this, like I'll go into Blender and model out my own model and then just kind of trace over it, which is a good way to go about it too. But, you know, there's already the exact kind of reference I want here, so it's just easier if I do it. Some people view that as like cheating, you know, like you're not allowed to trace, but like I think it's okay. The final asset is going to change so much from the original source image anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's not like this is a pre-existing artwork anyways, so and this is where the wheel is. It's got this weird like hood thing on the top. We'll see if we want to keep that there. Fill it in. All right. Now I want to do the windshield. Just going to be right here. I guess this is the kind of truck that I want to do. It'll be fine. It needs a grill. Perspective's a little weird on this because I have to like... I'm going to fix the perspective. We're just going to make it flat because it's going to look bad otherwise. Like this. That's better. Then honestly for this up here we might... That one I guess it's okay. We'll decide. Truck. This is all going to be a different side of the truck, so it's going to be dark. And this is going to be like inset. Yeah. Get the wheel going. This is just going to be an icon for the research, so we're going to add in a research into the game that lets you send your fish back while you're still kind of out and about fishing. It's just a nice little quality of life research, right? So this is just going to be the icon for it. Sort of implying that it's like you're hiring a truck driver to come and take your fish from you, I guess. Car. There would be another tire back here. All right. Let's fill all that in. That's going to be outlined back there. Boom. I don't know if I want to outline. It's weird outlining things that are already black because it just doesn't really make any sense. So probably won't outline it. I feel like this is too curved. That's better. Usually these have like an outline. Right. That'll be fine. I might actually extend this out to here. We'll see how I want to do this. That'll be fine. And I want that to curve back. I guess a little bit, yeah. All right. And then in here, this is going to be darker. I don't know if this would be metal down here. Don't know. The truck's not going to be yellow. It's just a temporary color. Let's make it white. Or let's do this color, and then the very top of it will be white. So we'll do like, some of these spots will be pure white. Like up here, and right there. Let's erase that. And let's do this color here. And do that there, that there. We got the wheels. All right. Do our anti-aliasing. This would probably be one connected thing. Yeah. Then with the tire, I guess, yeah, this is how I would probably shade that. All right. And I'll probably put a fish on the side just so it's obvious that it's like a fish truck. Right? And not some other kind of truck. Which is really hard to do with the perspective of this. Because it's on a slope, but also like an extreme, like, it gets thin really fast. So it is quite difficult. Something like that, I guess, yeah. That'll do. We'll put the eye over there. Alright. There'd be a side window here. Something like that. There'd probably be a handle, I suppose, on the door. Okay. We'll do some highlights on the window. Do a little bit more anti-aliasing stuff. Maybe swap this black out for gray. Yeah. That'll be good there. And then the truck has like orange, like a blinker. I guess we could do some of that, maybe. Maybe red. And they do go up at like an angle like that, but it makes the truck look angry. So I don't know if I really want to do that. I think it'd be fine there. It's like a little symbol. Oh yeah, it would have a license plate down here. It's for gore. Actually, do trucks have license plates on the front? No. So I'm looking around, I don't really see many. So maybe they don't. Or maybe they always do, but it's just, these are all like model trucks, so there's probably not actually a license plate on them, you know what I mean? So we'll put one down here. I'll have to go look at the one that I already did for the taxi. I think I did like the New York style license plate. Okay. I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Some of these trucks have these little like orange dots, like reflectors. We could put some of those there, because why not? And then we can do some outline coloring, anti-aliasing on the outline, and then we're good to go. And we'll move up to a brighter color around these parts. Actually, yeah, we can do that there. That'll stay probably dark. Unless I wanted to go to like this color, that'd be fine. We'll do that. But call it there. That gets you doing this color here. And then under here, do that. Maybe go to here. Okay. And then anti-aliasing time. So I think right here could use some. Maybe a little more, that's good right there. I feel like I sort of need to shift this over. Let's do that like that. And we'll go back and fix that, but that'll be okay for now. Let's thin that out. Could use some right there. Maybe some in the corners of the tires, but I don't want them to look too square. Maybe we'll do one on the right side. Yeah. And this tire is a little funny, so we'll do another one. Do one over there, and then do a solid black color there. It's more thickness. I don't know if you would see the other tire on the other side of the truck from here, you know? Like, would you see like that? So I'm trying to think. The other tire would be like, perspective-wise, like right here, I think. So you wouldn't really see it. We'll just leave it out. Alright, I think this is good enough. I guess we'll do white for the headlights. Usually headlights are darker than the white parts of a car, though. So we could use this color, actually, in some places, like a tan. So we could theoretically do that, and then do that for the darker color. But it's pretty bright. Too bright. That'll be fine. It's like the headlights are on, you know? Or we could make them yellowed. Which isn't terrible. Maybe we just do yellow at the top. I think that works. Okay, good enough. So this is going to be icon. I don't know what. Fish transport. We'll figure it out. Ooh, but we already have icon fish transportation. Never mind. It can't be called that. Because that's for the, yeah. How would I describe this? So it's sort of like you're bringing these fish from the place that you're at back home without actually leaving. So it would be like, I don't know. Fish retrieval makes sense, you know? Let me make sure I'm spelling that right. They're retrieving the fish. That'll work, whatever. Okay, so into the research table. Let's go add it in. And I might just add this as just a base research, not connected to anything. We'll see. I might change that decision later. So you return your fish home without leaving a region. Retrieval. I don't know how expensive it would be, but not like too crazy. Probably 1,000. Okay, and then what we can do is go modify our KeepNet menu. So this is what we have in here now, where we just have a button that says return. So I want to add another button down there. So I'll have to put this into an H box. I don't think I have a reference to this button or anything. Let me make sure. Oh, I do. So let's change that reference. It's going to be a type of animated button. Then we need another one for send fish home button. Oh god, animated button. So that will be visible if that is full. And then I want the... Let's put that under the H box now. I don't know why that says that's H box 2. Oh, because there is that one there. Okay. Duplicate this button. Call turn fish home. So that button's just going to be visible whenever global.caughtfish. Oh, do I want that to dynamically change? Let's see. First off, let's just get research level. LI research, fish, retrieval. Oh, it's send fish home button. Oopsies. And then this one, it's not going to do on return pressed. It's just going to send your fish home. So, I have to figure out how that works. It's going to cost money, so might have to put this into a process event and check whether that button should actually be clickable or not. So let's say that .visible is equal to that. So we'll just set a variable fish home button unlocked equals false. And then on ready, we will set that to whatever we have. So that is greater than 0. Okay. So it's equal to fish home button unlocked. And also the only thing I worry about is I don't want people to get this idea that you know, the only way to send your fish home is by getting this research, which is one thing I'm a little concerned about. So I might just make this completely invisible until you have the research. So, because then it's obvious later, you know that the fish go back when you hit return, but you see this and you're like, oh, so I can do it without having to leave now. So I think that makes more sense. So we have to check if that's unlocked, and also we'll have to know what region we're in and how much it costs. So global.money is greater than or equal to whatever the cost of our region stuff is. So I'll just call it return cost as a float. And then on ready, we'll get all the stuff. Region ID. Table.get that. Okay. And then say return cost is region data dot. I think I'd like it to be a little bit less expensive than the cost of traveling somewhere, just so it's kind of like, you know, feels worthwhile to actually use it. So we'll say region data.cost divided by 2. That'd probably be fine. Alrighty. So we don't worry about the visibility there now. And then whenever we press that button, we have to actually do all the stuff and call update menu info again. So the way that we do this is inside of our this code in here. So I loop through where is that here? Oh no, actually it instantly adds the fish into your inventory the second you catch it, so we don't have to do anything. But we just have to clear out that list of caught fish. So we just say yeah, global.caughtfish.clear, I think is what we do. I think. So let's give that a try. We're basically adding in a button so you can send your fish back to your aquarium without having to leave the region you're in. So like, let's say that you paid a bunch of money to go to the jungle or something. You can just pay like a cheaper fee to just send the fish back instead of having to go back and load into the aquarium, then click again and find the place and load back in, you know? It's just a little quality of life thing. So I think that's all I need to do. We're gonna try it out. Let's go see. Oh yeah, also, I should only make it so that button's clickable when we actually have fish that we've caught. That's another thing. So apparently region didn't work. I know why. We have to say if global.current region ID is not equal to li.region.main menu, then we do this stuff. Otherwise, return cost is just 0 or something. And one last thing, only do this and global.caughtfish.size is greater than 0. Okay, let's try this again. Please work. Please don't crash. Please. I beg of you. Okay, we're good. So now, we click play. Everything should still be the same in here, so... Oh. Starting to think cost is not the right... Let's go look at the regions table. It might be travel cost is the real one. It is. And is travel cost defined? It already is. Okay. So let's fix everything. We don't have to check if it's that. We just say region data.travel cost. Now I was just using the wrong property. Let's try it again. And 0 divided by anything is still just 0, so it shouldn't cause any issues, I hope. Okay, we have play. We go to the pond. And then in the keep net. Ooh. Oh, I forgot to select the references here. Oopsies. Return button and then return fish home button. Try that again. Did I reference just regular return button on that one in process? Let's go look at that. Mine messed up. Oh, I did that. I think I called it send fish home button. Okay. Let's try this again, guys. Play. Go travel. Open my keep net. Okay, so it doesn't show anything. But if we go ahead and catch a fish, right? Oh, I realized I changed the line edit in the, the debug panel here now, too. So if we got our keep net full, let's just go ahead and do that. Everything should still be the exact same right now. Nothing should have changed. Okay, we gotta fix that. Set that to center mode. So we just hit return, and everything's fine. Do these have like a minimum set size? I think what I want to do is set a maximum size instead now. So let's get rid of that. Then on both of these, I want to say custom maximum size is 256 and set them to expand and fill. So do that. All right, so everything's normal. But then if we go ahead and go in here and buy our fish retrieval research, all right, boom. Now, when we go somewhere, we should see in here, as soon as we have a fish, still says return. Let's change this to say send fish home. I don't know how I would describe it. Send fish, and then it's gonna have like a money sign for how much it costs, you know? So I might just call it like quick send or something, you know? We'll figure that out. Then we hit that, and boom. Shows no fish caught yet, but it still shows weight in my keep net, which is strange. There might be something else that I'm setting in here. For the weight, right? Oh, is it called refresh list? Oh yeah, I also need to call that in here too. So let's do that. And then is that gonna set the proper weight and all that business? I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. Let's go try this again. So I need to restart the game so it actually saves the changes I made to the buttons and stuff. Let's do that. My main quality of life thing is moving all of a fish into a tank at once. Yeah. Being able to do like just completely fill a tank up with one kind of fish. Is that what you're saying? Game OT. I added in a way to add fish directly to my caught fish list. Now we'll see. Okay, so anyways, we have fish in here now. It shows the quick send button. So we hit that. Boom. It deletes the fish in our keep net. It's not updating that button down there, though, for some reason. So let's go look at that. Why does that happen? Because it should happen when I release a fish. So let's actually go back into KeepNet Fish panel, and that emits a signal in here, which is caught fish. Okay, I literally just call global region update weight. So we'll we'll do that also instead of here when we send them home. Okay. That should finally be everything. Let's go try it out. Yeah, I think so. Like, say, fill tank to max. Yeah. Yeah, it could be nice. Just if you have a bunch of one fish and you just want to quickly fill them up. I'd have to think about how I would squeeze that into the inventory area, because, you know, it's a little difficult. Because the info is above here. I could have another little button right here that changes like a number, you know? Right down in this bottom bar. So that's possible. Yeah, I could see doing that. I'll have to think about how it would like work with the UI. But it should be possible. I'll figure it out. Anyways. MOT. Let's catch fish. So now when I quick send this back home, it should instantly get rid of this, empty the keep net, and set the weight. Yes, it does. So now you can just do that, which is kind of convenient. Because you're not releasing the fish, you're keeping them. Because we can go look at the way that the releasing works in here, because it does on release pressed. So if it doesn't have it, yeah, we set amount to 1. We decrease the amount, do all that stuff, so yeah. Then we also remove that fish from our inventory. I think you notice the most when you're replacing a tank with better fish. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know, we'll have to think about how to do that. It would be nice. I do kind of want this update to be like the quality of life update, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, something also that we can do to keep that menu. There's no sense in running this if it's not visible. And like, is this function complicated? I don't know, I don't think this function is slow to call. I mean, it's just one process event. I'm so optimization pilled from Starground. It's fine. It will not impact my FPS. The controller's vibrating. Let's actually double check with the controller. Should be fine. So yeah, the buttons space in there properly, which is very good. So we'll have quick send and it will cost money. Cool. And let's go get it set up so it updates that text now with the actual cost, which will happen in ready. So we're gonna say send fish home button. Text is equal to, send. And for the pawn, since it's free to go there, it's just going to be $0. So. So, how do I want to do this? Let's do this. I'll send fish home there. And then the actual cost, which will be global dot format number, return cost, like that. Then we have 0, parentheses, 1. Be all we need. Did I say send fish home? I meant to do quick send or something. We'll figure out the wording on that. The rain in this game is so calming. Thank you. I always do really like rain games. It's very nice. Okay, so the pawn should be free, right? Also, one thing I want to check really quick, which it should be working, but if we send this fish home... Yeah, so it shows 0, which is kind of funny. We need to say free, right? So let's do this. For our cost text, is tr free. And then if return cost is greater than 0, say cost text is that. Is that. All right. And then I'll put cost text down in here. Boom. So let's go try that out now. It should update. Let's go to here. MOT. I should make a command that just instantly adds a caught fish to my inventory. I feel like I did though. Okay, now it shows free if it costs 0. So let's go to a place that costs money to go to, like the lake. So if we go ahead and catch a fish here, it should show that it costs $50. Boom, 50 bucks. And for some reason, it's not putting a dollar sign, so let's fix that. Dollar plus that. Alrighty. Stephen Min, return cost divided by 2. Yeah, the return cost is the travel cost divided by 2. So if it costs like $100 to go somewhere, then it only costs half that to return your fish. And keep net size still matters because the thing is the returning fish costs money. So upgrading your keep net, if you have this research, it just means that you're spending less money on returning fish. So it is still worthwhile. The string is full though, which cost text. No, return cost is already your region data travel cost divided by 2. Right here. So it should be fine. Yeah, it's all good. And let's make sure this gets translated. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, it's already pre-divided. Then the last thing down here is whenever we actually do it, we need to, let's see, return pressed on return fish home pressed, then do global.money minus equals return cost, and then we also want to call global.global UI dot money particles false. And then what happens with money particles if like we're on controller? Oh, I guess the cursor node goes to whatever was selected. That's what it is. So if I'm on controller and I now buy this, it'll just go to where the button was pressed. So yeah, we're good. Had a lot of wine, sorry. Nah, don't worry about it, it's all good. All right, so that should be it. I think it's working. So it'll just be a nice little extra ability that you can research if you want. Yeah. Fish retrieval. And yeah, I might like put this behind some other research. It does feel a little odd just being here by itself. But these two, this tree over here is pretty, pretty filled up. I guess I could put it as another child node of Ascension. Just be hanging right here. Because it would still be pretty reasonable. Yeah, we'll do that then. So go back into the research table. Fish retrieval. And go find where bioengineering is. and squeeze it in here. Acquired ID is Ascension. And we do also need to do bioengineering 2, which we could throw in for this update. I will probably make it cost like twice the amount. Like, I want this to be a really expensive research. Saltwater fish be placed into any liquid. Okay. And then we've got to go into the, let's see, global fill description. And oh, fill name. Bioengineering 1, do bioengineering 2. Okay. So, let's go give it a try, huh? I'll have to go check the code again now for the freshwater fish. We have to do the same thing for saltwater. All right. Then in research, there should be bioengineering 2. Oops, I forgot to make it require bioengineering 1. I'm a fool. Required bioengineering 1. All right. Then let's go find where I actually like do that. And I believe it is in right here. So if that's greater than 0, allowed liquids has fresh water, then compatible liquid is true, yeah. So now we just say if global.get, basically do the same thing. And then if it has salt water, it's true. All right. So let's go test it out. Let's see, Triple Fire 420. How's it going? Make my own art. Looks cool. Thank you. Yeah, I do my own art for this game. So, all of the assets you see right now are all done by me. All right, so bioengineering 2. Let's unlock it. It might be pretty expensive. I don't know. I have to play through the game again and see if that's like a reasonable amount of research to hit. 32,000. This is kind of a lot, but anyways, now we have that. So we should be able to now put a saltwater fish into a freshwater tank. So let's go get a ball sponge and put them in there. Boom. Crazy. So new synergies have opened. Now you can also do the saltwater synergies. So with that, that means you can now do every synergy in one tank, theoretically. It would be really hard to, because you'd have to fit a whale shark in there. So, good luck. But theoretically, it's possible. How goes the prototype? Yeah, it's been going pretty good. I can show that off here right now. Real quick. But I got this save load system set up, and I actually love how simple this is. So basically what I do for this is I just have this script, it's a global, and these are my variables that get saved in here, right? So I just put a variable in here. I just, blah, 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 this is my variable. I can type it if I want and set a value. So this will be the default value. So if you don't have an entry in your save data, then it'll just get turned into the default in here. So that's basically it. I just have a little script in here for save game. It loops through. I have to do some weird stuff to do it properly because it returns this property as a string for some reason, which is save load GD. I don't know why, but I just skipped that. Otherwise, what this does is it returns just a list of all of the variables inside of a script, and then I just save all those and load them back up, and it's really easy. So Pretty cool stuff. And then one thing I need to check for, I don't know if this will be a problem, but if I try and set a key in here that doesn't exist, what does set do? Nothing happens. Okay, good. So that's nothing then. But yeah, so that's been implemented. I just threw in a quick little option to change the screen shake, so you can turn that off if you don't like it. Standardized saves, yes. This the save system is so simple. I just copy over a script, copy over this file, and I'm done. So this is basically my new save component going from now on in the future. It works really well. Yeah, I'll go through and link it up to the sound stuff. Might be a little different in the way that I do that, but should be possible. Yeah, just working on all this stuff in here. We've been going through a lot of the assets for the game. I need to work on the dirt a little bit more. I think we don't need the like noise on the dirt, because when you're looking at it from a really tiny scale, especially if you're just doing slight movements on the camera, it kind of like sparkles, which looks odd. So we're probably going to remove all these little like individual pixel dots, just because it's a little strange. But yeah, it's coming along now. Ignore the floating sand or the floating grass. We're gonna put the sand back in, but we're using now a 15 tile set system. So all of the tiles for that now is just this one. Let's go find it. Oh, here, sprites. These are all of the grass tiles. This is all we need to do full 47 tile set tiling, which is really cool. So yeah, 15 tile sets are very awesome. And I kind of wish I used them for Starground, but what are you gonna do? I didn't. But anyways, works pretty well though. And we got the same thing set up for sand, so. Yeah, it's really fascinating, because basically what you do is you offset this tile set to your main one. So you have like two layers. You have like one with the true cells, and then another one that just sits on top to just display the tiles. And it's offset like half a tile over. So you kind of just like, if you want to get like a full tile here, you can just kind of take this tile, flip it around. Now you've got like every variation that you need just right here with 15, you know, because you can just rotate them around and do stuff. Or you don't even have to rotate because there's this guy over here. So I just made a super little simple script in here. I think it's inside of the map file. Or no, it is inside the world file. My bad. Right here, and it just loops through each tile on your main grid and kind of decides what combination of displays need to be here. I just have a big table here with the like collisions that you have here, and then it maps to an atlas coordinate. So if you've got like a collision on all sides or whatever, then it'll be like, okay, you should be this tile. And then it just goes and grabs whatever that is in the atlas coordinates. So yeah. Very easy. And very, very nice. When you are doing assets like this that are really high resolution, especially if you're planning on having lots of environments, it is such a pain to have to create 47 tiles, you know? So with this, we don't have to do that, which is kind of nice. It's so weird that you can like zoom in and it just shows the the pattern, you know? But anyways, it's all coming along. Just got to keep working away at it. Hopefully Zach will have some time this weekend maybe to work on more assets. I don't know what his schedule's been like. I think he's had a lot of work to do, so it's been hard. But we'll get there. Okay, so I don't like how these are kind of like nearly colliding with each other. I don't know if there's anything I can do to prevent that. I would have assumed this would go off more to this way, but it doesn't really. I mean, it's still fine. They aren't colliding, so it doesn't really matter, but it's a little weird. I don't know. It's okay. So yeah, that works really well. So like, what's nice about this is if you're going somewhere that's super expensive, like the deep sea, right? $10 million. You can send your fish back for half the price, which is pretty nice. Controller mode activate. This one, nothing I can't handle. I've got the marine hatchet fish. Very tiny. So you can quick send them back for half the price. Kinda wild. But anyways. I want to do more quality of life stuff like that. Because I think just the more of that in the game, the better. And you have to be careful about like cluttering up your UIs too much. So I don't want there to be like 10,000 buttons to click on. Because I've seen some games that do that where they add in quality of life, but it ends up being so much that it's like, it's too much. So, we'll have to see. I could send this guy back. Boom. Yeah, works pretty well. So yeah, how would we like, I do almost worry that the inventory suffers from that a little bit, like having all the drop downs and everything, you know? I wonder in what way we could make those less annoying. Like, honestly, maybe we give that button, like, some transparency. I don't know. But we could go into the item panel, go to the toggle hide button, and just make it semi-transparent, you know? But then it's kind of hard to see, so I don't know. Yeah, I wonder what we want to do for that. Because I just don't want it to block the sprite of the fish too much. Yeah, I don't know. Yo, thank you for the hydrate. How's it going, Anagon? Welcome in. Oh yeah, I need to ping everyone on the Discord server about the new wikis. I kind of forgot about that. We should do that right now. I did set up the bot. It seems to be working really well. So like, we look inside I think it was alerts where I was testing some stuff. Yeah, I added in Starground, and then you can call /wiki search and search for stuff, which is really cool. Does this show up for everyone, or like how does this work? So like when you call this, does this just show up in the chat for everyone? Because I'm assuming that it does, because it's not only you can see this. Okay. Should be fine. We'll see. Is it possible? I know there is ways like this to send messages to only specific people, right? Is that a thing that's like easy to toggle? I have no idea. I've never done bot stuff before. Yeah, if it was just like another config option, I think that's something that would be nice, because I could see in a certain case where people calling this command a bunch would just clog up chats where you don't want people doing that. So it'd be nice if you had the ability to say like wiki config, you know, or something like that, and be able to toggle between those two modes. Because also I could see where that would be useful for some cases. Like if you have like a dedicated wiki chat, you know, or you want to, you know, something like that. Yeah. Very cool though. I was surprised how fast you got the bot working. It was like 1 day and it's already here. I was like, that's insane. Yeah, very cool though. Yeah, I already have all the info and stuff. That's totally fair. It's the nice thing about making things, right? Yeah, let's go make that post. I'm trying to think where I would put that in. I guess it's an announcements, and I'll ping at who would I ping for this? I guess it's like LI updates or sneak peeks. Is it more of an update or a sneak peek? I don't know. I'll say it's a sneak peek because that's like less, you know. Oh, is it just called sneak peeks? Oh, there it is. Starground sneak peeks. Got a whole new set of wikis for Starground and Lured In now. And I'll put the links in here and stuff. I might make it so the link to the wikis are in-game. Now that they're actually like cool and, you know, not stupid. Because the old ones were pretty dumb. I'll have to go in and destroy the old one. I'll just say Adagon. Set up both games on his wiki website. So you can visit both of those here, and then Lured In. That's a dash, yep. Also have a bot on the server now that can directly query pages from both of those wikis. So you can run /wiki. It's wiki query, right? Is the command. Let me go make sure. Yeah. Oh, back into... Oh, it's wiki search. Did it change? Oh. Oh, okay. Wiki search and then query. I see, I see. So you can run /wiki search and find a specific page, the info you're looking for. Also go ahead and plug the Patreon because it's pretty epic. Let's go to that. Where is your Patreon link? There it is. Um, 11 hours of Starground later, I can certify it as freaking awesome. Let's go. Very glad to hear. Very awesome. Yeah, I'll have to go look back your VOD. Doing work more on Starground soon. Well, I don't know if I want to, but you know what I mean. And then I want to say, you know, both of these wikis now just automatically generate from game files. So finally we don't have to go through and manually fill out info anymore. Thanks again to Adagon. Feel free to check out his Patreon page here. To support more epic wikis here. Yeah. I need to finish setting up the donation website so I can track people in the tiers better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you have the like reward set up yet, right? Because I was wondering about that. But yeah, you said you were gonna get that going soon. Not that I care, but it's cool though. Let's see, a couple things on it do confuse me. Interesting. I'd be happy to hear which parts of it were confusing, because I want to start kind of getting things moved toward 1.0 soon. Do you need motivation to work on Starground today or another day? Well, I'm talking to Graham, my publisher of Starground, about stuff with it, so we're probably not going to work on it right now, because before I do anything on Starground, I need to create like a solid plan that I can fulfill. So I don't want to just start diving in and doing random stuff and then getting burnt out instantly again. So we'll decide. Yeah, setting up at the moment since Patreon just got set up. Yeah. I mean, lured in, technically people already knew about that one, but yeah, I'll just say we've got a whole new wiki for Starground now, set up in the same way as the lured in one. All right. Is Patreon not a word? Yeah, no, it's not. Boom. Publish. Alrighty. I did do the right link, right? Okay, yeah. All of the embeds. Crazy. Yeah, I got you all the best planning. Always here to pelt you with cheese if you need it. I appreciate it, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna figure out what we want to do with that, so, with Starground. We'll see. I have to dethrone Fruit Bear as the third most popular wiki. Yeah. How does this work in here? Like, oh, I think Lurden might have. Is it sorted by like wiki popularity? Do you like keep track of that? Because I have no idea. Oh, okay, it is. Yeah. Does that also take into account like API calls with the bot? Yes, Lurden is the second. Let's go. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's cool though. Yeah, if I like throw a link in the game and stuff, I'm sure that would make people actually use it. Okay, it's unique viewers. Yeah. That's cool though. Nice. Well, there we go. Yeah, sorry it took so long to announce it. Yeah, this wiki is so much better, man. The old one is just so bad. It's hard to do these kinds of wikis, like I was saying. It's just, you need an enormous community for people to actually contribute enough to fill it out in any reasonable level. So, but man, yeah, being able to, I've been wanting to do this kind of thing with Starground for a long time, like automatically generating a wiki from just game files. So this seems like definitely the play. How'd you go about doing like descriptions for the items and stuff in here? Because you have like the description, the true description, but then also you have like this stuff. Is this just like an algorithm to check this stuff, or what'd you do for that? Just out of curiosity. Should put a banner in the embed. Yeah, that'd be cool if it showed like the background or like the logo on there. Somewhat automated. Yeah, so it's interesting. Because I do wonder, like, if somebody, for example, let's say somebody went in here and expanded more on the description, like, would it just get deleted? Or I don't even know how that would work. Yeah, I had to adjust the individual categories each. Yeah, I imagine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how that would do. Because it's got like this stuff, which this will automatically be filled out. Yeah, for after initial population, I'd probably just update the stats. That's fair, yeah. Okay. Not sure if there's a Discord page for it, but in Starground, the one thing that completely changed how I played, I don't realize the mover had a black and white list. Oh, yeah. Figured splitters would be where you do the sorting. Okay. Yeah, that's totally fair. I don't really, like, explain that mechanic well enough, honestly. So, one of the big things with Starground going into 1.0 is I just need to go through and really focus on the little things like that. Kind of information portrayal to the player, I think, is always very important, just so people know what you can actually do, you know? Yeah, after I figured that out, life was 2,000% better, yeah. Yeah, I can think about how I can work that into, like, what I could always do for Starground, we've got those little, like, pop-up tutorials, so I could just say, like, whenever you place down a mover, just remind the player that you can set filters on it, that kind of thing. So, I'll probably be doing that a lot. But yeah, anyways. Some items in the inventory, let's go. But yeah, anyways. Thanks again, Adagon, for all the wiki stuff. It's very epic. And I'll probably have more games coming up, more wikis. So, because I imagine like a little wiki for Tactic Toe would be cool, just to describe some like what the special tiles and stuff do. I don't think for that kind of game it would be super important. I mean, Starground is definitely like way more of a wiki kind of game, but yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely spread the word because I think it's very cool. I definitely, I mean, there's probably a lot of games that would like to have a wiki, so I'll have to ask around. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, no ads, you know, none of that stuff. Very good. That's like always my problem with wiki stuff, using fandom. It's just, it's awful to navigate through those kinds of wikis, so being able to just pop in here and get straight into the info with no distractions is pretty sick. So, yeah. Yes, and pull from belts that are not facing the mover. Yeah, I can specify that, yeah. Oh, yeah, and this stupid little, like, pop-out video, that thing sucks. I hate when that happens, you're scrolling down, and also all the questions, it's like, are you a child or an adult? Watch this video. And it's like, I don't, just stop asking that stuff. It's stupid. It's really dumb. But yeah. Yeah, there's a reason why I made it. Yeah, I agree, yeah. Yeah, Adagon is the one that made the whole website. Is it just you and Biolume, like Biolume Studios? I'm not sure. I assumed that it was just you, but I don't know, actually. Currently, yes, okay. Yeah, very cool. So browse mode, that like stops me from editing stuff, right? Yeah. Nice. And there's the edit mode. So when I go into here, ooh, inline edit mode. What does that do? I'm not sure. There's going to be people working on Viricide with me as contractors. Nice. I'll go into a page and then toggle. Let me refresh. Let's see. Oh, because I'm not in like a real page. Let's go here and then There we go. So then it changes into... Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. Okay. I was just stupid and didn't know. So yeah, are you planning on doing that as like a full Steam launch then? It's pretty awesome. Let's go, yeah. If you ever need help with stuff, I'm happy to help. I can do artwork or program or anything. So one more question. It's far too late anyways. Was all music non-DMCA? Yeah, the music is totally free to play. If people want to also, you can just like download the music and put it in YouTube videos and stuff. We're not gonna... It's the same with every game I've ever made. None of the music is ever like, you know, content ID'd or whatever, because that's stupid. Claiming, like having like claims on game music is ridiculous, because what if somebody plays your game in a YouTube video, then what? Like, that's not fair. So... Yes, you're wise. Thank you. Want to check anyways? Yeah. I mean, imagine like if Minecraft music was copied, like you would get claimed for putting it in your videos. Like that would shut down half of YouTube. Like that would be insane. So, but yeah, you do if it's not C418, really? Interesting. Yeah, I imagine with, well, that's the thing. I guess C418 owns his own owns the music, whereas the other artists, that's Microsoft, not C418. So, yeah, I've never really used the new music anywhere, so I've never even known, but never had issue with C418 music, at least. Yeah. Interesting. The YouTube Content ID system, though, is a mess. It's I have so many streams, like every single stream that I've ever done, I get a message, I get an email from YouTube and they're like, hey, your stream is content claimed now, like this one that we just did. It's all these songs that are not real. Like what happens is somebody comes in here and takes one of these songs and uploads it to some brand new random channel and says, hey, I'm the guy that owns this song. And then your stream gets content claimed all the time. And you can't really like send in a request to get rid of it because they can just take as long as they want to respond to you and stuff. It's just stupid. I don't know why there's no like verification process, you know? Why does YouTube not do that? How come anyone's allowed to claim music as their own? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and you have to, yeah, that's another thing that's stupid is you have to give all your information up to send in like a rejection. But they don't. I don't know. Why are they doing this? It's not good for YouTube, right? Because they're just losing out on revenue if people are taking revenue from their advertisements. It just doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the monetization requirements. Well, what's funny about the monetization requirements is now they're making that change to how views are classified. Because it used to be like somebody would have to like kind of watch for about 30 seconds before it's classified as a real view. And now apparently it's just the second somebody clicks on your video, it is a view now. So even though they're doubling the monetization requirements, it means nothing if now you just have to get somebody to click on your video. So it's just stupid. I don't know why they would make that change, honestly. That's just going to be a bad idea because now the new meta of YouTube is don't actually make a good video, just make the most clickbaity thumbnail you possibly can, and then that's it. It's stupid. I don't know. I really wish there was a YouTube alternative, you know? There's just not. There's just no there's nothing that really compares in terms of the usability and popularity of their website. That's the problem. Like, Vimeo is there, but nobody uses Vimeo. So I don't know. Yeah, I haven't thought of it that way. Yeah. I mean, that's at least what I'm thinking, because it's based off of view counts, or like, or I guess the monetization is more watch time, but if the views that get counted as watch time are now every view, then I imagine watch time will be a lot easier to accumulate. So yeah, I don't know. Welcome back, Oscar. Yeah, new YouTubers or small creators won't have anything. It's so stupid. YouTube's gross. Billy Billy's going global. Oh yeah, that's I think I've heard of that. Oh yeah, it's like the Chinese one. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube needs competition, man. This is what happens when you become a monopoly, especially when you're a publicly traded company like YouTube. Because even though Steam I would classify as like a monopoly over PC gaming, the thing is that they're a private company and they don't have to make decisions for their shareholders. But YouTube does. They have to always justify the reason that their decision is going to benefit shareholders. Right? That's what sucks about stupid companies like that. I don't know. It's just annoying. Anyways. YouTube's content dump. Storing stuff, not expecting money. Yeah. Honestly. It's the TikTokification of YouTube. The reason we like YouTube is it's supposed to be different. It's not different anymore. It's the only one. We have no choice. How's the update going? It's going pretty good. We did some theme stuff. I changed the tabs finally to be like a part of the theme of the game. So now that's here. And then we also just added in some new research. So first up, we got bioengineering 2, so you can put saltwater fish in any liquid, and then also fish retrieval. So let's say that you're fishing out in a region like the deep sea and you catch a fish, right? But you don't want to have to return and completely... I just failed the menu. But you don't want to have to leave and spend the money to travel back to here again. So now if you have that fish retrieval research, in the keep net, a new button appears, quick send, and you can just send your fish back for half the travel cost without having to leave anymore. So it's just a little quality of life research. And it's very helpful too if you're trying to get a specific fish from the Fishpedia. Instead of having to click return and wait for the animation and click and go find it again and travel back over and over. You know, it's a lot easier. Anyways. And then I want to maybe begin the fish breeding mechanics a tiny bit right now. We'll just go ahead and make the room. I don't know if we'll like get it working right this instant, but let's go into the world and begin. So Nick, the suggested page on a brand new account is questionable. It's pretty yucky. There's a lot of gross content on YouTube. My account is like so old, I feel like I don't really get any bad content, but whenever I am on YouTube on like a different computer, it's kind of scary, the kind of stuff I see on there. I'm like, what is this? Why is this here? Yeah, I don't know. I tire of YouTube sometimes. But also, there's no other options. Like, what, are you going to pay $20 a month to get a streaming service? I mean, I do anyways, but it's not as comparable to YouTube. I don't know. It's frustrating. It sucks in situations like that where there's just not an easy solution. I'll just call this room breeding room. Okay, then delete all of this stuff in it. Boom. Now, it is time to create the room. So it's going to be over here. I need to hide this Ascension menu because I can't see a thing. Let's go hide it. Boom. And the research menu, the inventory, and the shop. And the travel menu. Oh my god, okay. Then let's put it here. I think I might make this sort of the same environment as the lab because it's not like a public area that the customers can walk into. So we'll probably like do this. Yeah, dynamite fishing would be insane. Drop a stick of dynamite into the hole. That'd be wild. Maybe. I would like to do maybe another fishing method someday. Like I thought about net fishing, which I think could be kind of neat. So maybe I'm not completely opposed to a new fishing method. I'll have to see. So we got an ad starting soon. My apologies, guys. Interesting. Seems like a really buffed mechanic. I suppose new bioengineering, quick travel are expensive. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a super cheap research. You've got to spend like 1,000 points, so... But also the thing is like to get to the region, you still have to pay the travel fee. So, you know, it's not like, I don't think it's too powerful. I think it feels reasonable, but we'll have to see how things go. This update, I think we're going to aim for a longer schedule on this one, so I might do some playtesting stuff. Are you expanding the lab or the aquarium? I think if it's research focused, makes more sense to be in the lab. Yeah. I think we're going to make the fish breeding mechanics like a very research-centric mechanic, just so that there's more of a reason to use your research points. Because what I'm imagining is that whenever you go in and put your fish in the breeding tank to duplicate them, that's going to require an investment of research points, right? It's going to be like you have to put in like 10,000 research points and then you get a fish back out in 1 hour or something, you know. I think that would be how we do it. All right, so we got this little room over here now. Yeah, I'll probably just keep it tiny. Like, I don't think it needs to be a very big room. It's just gonna have like maybe 1 or 2 tanks in here. And then it's not gonna be like the normal fish tank. It's gonna be kind of like a weird thing. Where you can just put one kind of fish in there, so. I'm not gonna put that in the game, don't worry. I don't think that would be a good idea. We'll just imply it from a distance. Also, fish, it's not that, it's not like mammals. They just lay eggs in the water, and then another fish comes along and, you know. So, it's not even really like something that's that, like, inappropriate. I don't know. But I'm not gonna put it in the game, that's kind of weird. I don't know, I'm still conflicted if like this is going to be breeding specifically or if it's going to be just kind of like genetic cloning. Because the only thing I could see is if with a breeding system, you have to have at least 2 fish to make it make sense, right? And I don't know if that's what I want to do, because I think the time when it's the most useful is when you barely have any of one kind of fish. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Can I breed Grandpa on a fish? No. No. Maybe as an Easter egg. That's kind of messed up though. To throw Grandpa into the tank and then yeah. I don't know. We'll see. To be determined. Wonder if I should reuse these icons anywhere, or these textures, you know, like the moon pool texture like this. Nah, I probably don't need to. I could actually reuse these textures now. right? Like I could put on the edges of the building if I wanted to, do the mesh. It's possible. But I think we're okay for now. All right, ads are over. Sorry about that. Now, I have to decide I guess this is just going to be another aquarium expansion. So let's go into our upgrades table. Go to the expansion. Oops. And we have these level requirements. That's not the same thing, but upgrade expansion. So how much will this cost? Because it's going to be, you get to get it after you unlock the tank room. Okay. So cost scaling is 100, which is a lot. So it starts at 1,000. Right, times 100, 10,000, 1 million, and then it'll cost 100 million to unlock breeding. I think that's pretty reasonable. It'd be a nice, because that's around like the time when you want to have new things happening, because endgame can be a little stale. So like it's like after you're buying the 10 million deep sea trips. That's, yeah, you can get there pretty easily, I think, with Ascension and stuff. So yeah, I don't know how you're gonna approach it, but cost is interesting because we're goldfish. Doesn't matter, but imagine you're trying to reproduce deep sea. Yeah, I think the way that the system is gonna work is both the time it takes and the cost scales according to the kind of fish that you're trying to put in there. Right? So like if you're trying to put in a legendary deep sea fish like the barrel fish, that's going to be really expensive and take a very long time to duplicate. But if you're putting something in like the goldfish, that should be like super fast. So we'll have to figure out how we want to balance that, but goldfish like should basically be kind of free. It'll still cost some research, but you know, I'm not going to charge people 1,000 to research to make a goldfish. It's very easy to get a goldfish. But now the barrel eye, that's going to be a little bit more expensive. So yeah. I might also add in mythical fish into the game. I'm considering it. For this update specifically. Because it would be kind of fun. The only thing I worry is just making it too hard to fill out your Fishpedia. But if we also add in bait, then I feel like it becomes a lot easier, right? So it'd probably be okay. We'll see. Let's up the maximum level on this then, so we can buy a new expansion. And then let's go into here. Refresh expansions right here. And then right here, I want to say if level is less than or equal to 2. God, do that. Otherwise, we want to say breeding.self-modulate is gray. Otherwise, it is white. And we also need to set up a new navigation area for it. Not going to worry about that right now because it doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm actually going to make it so the researchers can walk in there. I could add in a doorway at the bottom so that they can go between the laboratory and the breeding zone. It wouldn't be that hard to do. But yeah, now it sits over here as a new room, and you can go in here and buy another expansion. That was the... Oh, that was less than I expected. So the last expansion actually costs 10 million, not 100 million. I might have to scale that. I can set it up so that specific levels of upgrades cost a certain amount. Because I think I implemented that for another upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. Maybe we can make the breeding hub level updates. Yeah, definitely. It'll have probably inside of one of these tabs. I don't think it'll be marketing, but I might even add a new tab just for breeding. And that'll have the list of all the upgrades for the breeding system. So it'll have, you know, the speed of the breeding. Maybe we'll set up initially so it has like a maximum level of fish that you can put in there. So to start, you can't just instantly start putting your end game fish in there and duplicating them. You have to like work your way up to that point, which might be a good idea. So yeah, we'll see how we want to balance it. I want to make sure it's still useful at the moment that you get it, but I also don't want it to just kind of completely defeat the purpose of fishing, because that's a little silly then. It should always be like way significantly more expensive than the regions, right? Oops, I didn't mean to go there. So yeah, we'll have to see. Lure it in, but the lure is missing. I know. We don't want to accidentally do that, so. Also for the research, let's go get this center light node and put it into the breeding room. And let's move it down in here. This light's kind of weird. Did I squoosh it? Yeah, I did. Let's do that. Make it a child of that. Then when we restart, it shouldn't be pitch black in there anymore. That's cool. I think it's bigger than my house. Yeah. Just this one little room. The diamond wheat, welcome in. There we go. Yeah, we'll have some tanks in here. And the way it's going to work is whenever you hit this move to tank, you know, on a fish, you'll be able to add them into a breeding tank instead. And it's not going to be like, I don't know if I'm going to make it where you can click on it and see them swim around inside of the breeding tank or not. It's probably just going to show like a little icon of the fish that's in there right now. And then have some options and controls in there for the breeding. Right? We'll have to see. Now, something maybe that we will explore, possibly. I don't know for sure. But hybrids. Maybe. It would be a really fun system. Because what you could do is like, it would give you reasons to breed early game fish together, right? To get some more interesting fish. You could put a, you know, bluegill with a minnow or something and get some wacky fish out of it. So I'm not completely opposed to that idea. We'll see. I don't know. I know I've talked about the potential problems with a system like that before, because it does make things quite complicated. And it wouldn't be set up in the way to where we would have a hybrid with like every single combination. Only some combinations would result in a hybrid. But yeah, exactly. We would definitely choose which ones can form hybrids, right? In the case that there is no formable hybrid, what we would do is just have it where the child becomes either one of its parents. So you could put in a dolphin with a goldfish, and there's a chance to either get a goldfish or get a dolphin from it, right? I think that's the way we'll do it. So with the breeding, let's see. I want to just specify some things in here. 2 fish go in. If no hybrid, chance to become one of parents. Otherwise, hybrid between the two. Could be kind of fun. But we'll see. Yeah, but it could work with synergies, only having a couple combinations and you need to find it. Yeah, I think that's the plan. It's like, I'll have to figure out how I can indicate that a combination can form a hybrid. I'll probably tell the player when you put in 2 fish whether there's a chance for a hybrid or not. Just being like, hybrid possible, right? Because otherwise it would be really hard to find them. Yeah, or like different variants of fish, like a black axolotl and stuff. That would be really cool. I would definitely like that. It would add in a fun new system to play with. Now I need to be careful though, because obviously I don't want these fish becoming more valuable than any fish that you can ever fish, because then what's the point of going fishing again, right? Something that we could also do to make this system even more balanced is whenever you breed fish together, it consumes the fish that you put in, right? So, like, let's say we put in a goldfish and a dolphin, and there's a hybrid between the two. Whenever you get the hybrid, it deletes the fish that went in as the parents. Because then that way you still have to acquire new fish, but you have the hybrid chance. So honestly, I almost feel like this needs to be 2 separate systems, right? I think we need tank for duplication, right? And then I think we also need tank for hybridization. I think those are the 2 different tanks we would need in here. And hybridization would be sort of a way more end game mechanic than the duplication tank, right? I think that would be a little bit more balanced. Because I'm trying to think how I would like mesh those 2 things together and make it feel fair, but I don't know, I can't. I think it's too difficult. So I think just separating them into 2 different systems would be good. Because then also, like, this I feel like is less overpowered than hybrids, because like these guys could potentially be way more valuable than the current fish in the game. We'll have to see. I don't want them to get too much more valuable, but basically we could have another sort of tier above the deep sea zone of hybrids. So they'd be more valuable than the deep sea fish, but not like excessively so. So it's a good thing to kind of invest in an endgame, just trying to get all the hybrids, you know? And we could have some synergies with hybrids too. Yeah, the Traffish Scott, we gotta add him in. Yeah, catfish bred with a black eel. Maybe, we'll see. It's like his dreads, you know? I have no idea. But it'll be really fun, I think, with this system. Kind of like opening up the game for weird fantasy fish, but in a way that still requires you to do normal fishing and still feels kind of connected to the real world, right? I think that's it'll be a good compromise. Yeah. It'll be fun to add in a bunch of hybrids. And I want to go stupid with them, you know? Stuff like the Traffish Scott. Might as well. I think it'd be fun. So. Yeah, anyways. Well, what time is it? It's getting kind of late. Let me, send a message really quick. Hold on, guys. Yeah, we'll see if I need to end stream or not. Yeah, and then I might even add in another building for this update. Here's where I'm at with this update. I feel like maybe we just go crazy. Like, I could release what we have now as a smaller 1.2 update. But if I have enough time to dive into stuff like this, we could go crazy with it. Like, I can add in we can add in both the breeding room and a whole nother tank room. You know, like maybe 2 new large tanks, because if we have all these new hybrid species, you need space for them somewhere, right? It'd be also really interesting if the hybrid fish actually like have like weird exotic liquids that they have to be inside of, like lava and things like that. So, I mean, what do you guys think about that, honestly? Like, there is a big event happening. It's the Incremental Fest, which there's not that many games in it. It's only like 300 games, which is, and Lured-In is going to be in it. So it's kind of a big deal. We could just kind of wait until that sale for this update, so I can just really flesh out stuff crazy. Yeah. Because I feel like the game is in a relatively stable position. Like, there's no major bugs. There's still some weird stuff with the research, or the scientists specifically, but it's not like game breaking or anything. But we could just keep throwing in crazy stuff and do like the biggest update ever. Because honestly, I think sometimes that is a really good thing for a game. And especially if we pair it up right with a sale. I think that could be a good combo. It's the kind of thing that I really miss from Minecraft these days, is the big content updates. Like, I loved the Nether update, was awesome. Because, yeah, it took a long time, but it was like this whole new... It's enough, like, new content to play through the whole game again, right? I get to see all these new biomes and piglins and bartering and netherite. It's wild. So I feel like there's definitely a time and place for big updates like that. Yeah. Oh, it's probably going to be the plan. I might do like a poll or something on Discord, just to make sure people are okay with that, but I think it'll be fun. And it's not like it's going to be like a super long time. I mean, I think it's like 6 weeks from now. So it would be probably next month sometime, I think toward the end of next month. But we could do a lot of stuff. I think it'd be fun. We'll see. But anyways, I think I need to wrap up stream because it's getting kind of late. But big things coming for Lured-In. We've already got a lot of cool stuff added already. It's not been that long, so I think we can add a lot of stuff. And I just want to go back to a lot of the older systems too, like work on doing adding in some benefits for placing down decorations and stuff like that. Probably something similar to the synergy system. Same with, like, I've always wanted the player to be able to choose the floor and wall for their building. So I think it'd be really awesome if you could, like, change the color of your walls and stuff, or choose like a texture that gets applied to it. I just think that'd be really fun. And here's the thing, I've kind of got that, like, we can just do a shader for that, because I can just color in these walls pure green or whatever and throw a shader onto it, and then just create a bunch of tileable textures and just have an option that you can select the texture on, and that's it. It's actually really easy to do. It seems like it'd be complicated, like I'd have to redraw the whole tile set, but if we just use a shader, I don't have to. So honestly, I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll go write it in here so we know. Do like different wallpapers, you know. Let's see here, where was that? Solve walls and floors. Make walls and floors a shader that you can put a tileable texture to. Because also, if you look at the floor, that's what we're doing already. It's already set up that way. I don't have to do anything different. Because look, this is a shader. And I just set a texture on the shader, right? Where am I? Oh, here we are. Thank God for that button. Because right on here under rendering, this is the material. It's just got a shader parameter with the texture right in here. Very easy. So yeah, we're gonna tackle that soon, I think. It'll be cool. Anyways. Crush McGee, welcome in. How's it going? What kind of game are you working on? We're working on Lured-In. This is an incremental fishing game. You go fishing, catch fish, bring it back to your aquarium, make a bunch of money, buy upgrades. So yeah, we're just working on the next content update. It's already out on Steam, so just sort of working toward 1.2 now. Whole bunch of things we've been messing with, but some new researches that you can buy to send fish back while you're out and about fishing. Bioengineering that lets you put saltwater fish everywhere. And we're just kind of starting to dive into a new room over here you can unlock too, which will have some like breeding systems in here. So there's going to be a tank that you can place down to duplicate a fish, and then also another one to hybridize them. So you can like mix two kinds of fish together, which I think would be really cool. So yeah, it's coming along. I think it'll be fun. Chef's always trying to take my good fish, yeah. He should be more balanced now these days. He used to be only asking for pot fish. He shouldn't do that anymore, as far as I know. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, we're just about to end stream. I do apologize, but we've been going for a while. Almost a full 4-hour stream, and we started like 2 hours late, so... What did I just do? I moved that light over. Okay. What am I moving? Oh, God. Okay, don't do that. Okay. Gotta be careful. Shoot. Stop touching the Fulbright node. Alright. Hands off the keyboard. Anyways. Let's go, find somebody to raid out to. Who is live right now? New Jank is doing stuff, working on his rail shooter. Good raid in there. Yeah. Let's go raid New Jank. Oh, cool. I'm trying to learn how to make some games. I have like a very little idea on what I'm doing right now. Yeah. I think in those really early stages of learning, videos are always a great option. Brackeys has some really good Godot videos, if you're using Godot specifically, but if not, there's plenty of other channels around with other engines. Yeah, read documentation. That's a big thing that helps. So, yeah, hope it goes well, though. Definitely, if you ever have any questions, you're welcome to come in here and ask away, so... Yeah, just go ahead and start this raid. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate it. We'll be live again tomorrow at 3:30 MDT. Probably. If there's any delays, I'll let everyone know. My brother's been back home, so we've got a bunch of stuff going on this weekend. But yeah, feel free to grab Lured In on Steam, join the Discord server, which now has an epic bot that you can ask questions, you can find pages on the wiki with. So, but yeah, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. And I'll see all of you next time. Let's go raid New Jank, guys. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming in. Bye-bye.